ready to go.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see where these guys want to go because, of course, this is a best of 3, whereas these guys are used to playing on a best of 1 most of the time. So you really got to bring that extra stamina. You got to be prepared for conceding potentially a map to the other team because, well, you can't just settle on one. You might get yours, you have to give them one, and then the decider map becomes the interesting one. So far, Oregon and Coastline going out first. Should be interesting as, I mean, those aren't necessarily the best maps for either of those teams, so not a surprise to see those get taken off the board early. But it looks like Consulate
was
and
picked
Clubhouse.
first,
Yeah.
then Clubhouse second.
That's right, we do the ban, pick,
We do
pick.
ban,
Yeah.
pick, ban, decider now.
Which is definitely fun. I think that gives a lot more opportunity for teams to get the maps they really want.
Yeah, in the older ban format, it was kind of like, okay, you could ban down to 3 common maps that both teams would enjoy, but now with the pick after 2 bans, you've really, that choice of map actually matters a lot more now.
Well, these maps, I think definitely favor the teams that pick them. Consulate has definitely been a great map for Reciprocity. It's also been a good map for Fnatic, but Clubhouse, I'd say even more so for Fnatic, so it makes sense that they would pick that. So hopefully they're Reciprocity prepared for it. Clubhouse wasn't their best map, but it's still a decent map for them. And then, of course, the decider is going to be especially interesting. Villa is one that either Fnatic have not wanted to play or are just hiding it. It's definitely something we've seen. For example, G2 will do that. They will ban a map the whole season like they did previously with Consulate and just to hide it for this. Now, of course, there's a lot less footage in Apex, so it's a possibility they might not have to hide things as well, might just not want to play it. But as I said earlier, that decider map could really favor either team, whereas usually the maps they pick are likely to be good maps. And because of that, ban, pick.
Yeah, and it looks like while we're getting lobby underway, we're still waiting for a few players to join in, so bear with us. But it looks like Reciprocity will be starting on the defense for Consulate, which
they play
number 1.
Such a good defense on Consulate too. I expect there's a good chance we might see them get 4 points out of this first half, just because they've played such a solid, fluid defense. And I think in the current meta right now, you can really get away with that. Attack is really hard on a lot of these bomb sites, and we have that 4th bomb site to also be brought out just to throw teams off. So I think the operator bans are really going to factor in this, and I think it's very likely coming out from Reciprocity, for example, we'll see that Valkyrie banned. So a little bit less maybe on runouts, but more so on fluid inside the map is very likely. But we'll see. Well,
looks like we're getting a correction, actually. It is not going to be Reciprocity on defense. It'll be Reciprocity starting on attack.
All right, well, hopefully they can get some rounds in there, because like I said, it's not easy, but we don't know a ton about how Fnatic are going to defend it either, and if they've been watching the VODs from Reciprocity, I imagine they're going to take page out of that, because ENCE, for example, showed a similar style of defense where you can play very aggressive, very fluid, just basically deny a ton of map control. So even when they take it, you just take it right back, especially if you have any kind of man advantage. This is going to be, I think, very hectic initial rounds as they try and feel each other out.
Yeah, we talk about the fluidity of both teams and how they do not play very regimented, in a stark contrast to a couple other teams that we've seen out in both of their regions. Fnatic, we saw it at Rio, just the complete lack of a structure, the complete lack of, I guess, following the norm and following the rules. Reciprocity have also shown a lot of that flair early on. The first half of the season in NA for Season 9, the ongoing Pro League season right now, they have looked remarkably fluid, and it looks like there's nothing really that slows them down. Once they have some momentum in a game, good luck. You're gonna to bring out all the stops just to get them to slow. And Reciprocity have been on a steamroll lately. They're 5-1-1.
Well, Fox has admitted they can be a bit of an emotional team, and so that is something that's going to factor in. If they can get those early attack wins, that I think will give them that that emotional edge going into defense. But at the same time, if they're shut down, that might be a struggle for them. We were talking to him before. I think it was Laxig saying that sometimes when they get shut down early on, that can carry on over even into the next map. So this is Reciprocity's map. If they lose this map, that could very well spell the end for them, just because they take that emotion into what would be Fnatic's map.
Yeah, I'm really interested, especially with it being Reciprocity's pick. It's been a strong map for them so far this season. I'm really interested to see how Consulate still shapes up now that there's a lot of VOD on them. And
they both have the same record on it, two wins and no losses or draws. So I mean, they've both shown they're strong on it. The question is who did the most research on it, or who is most prepared for the unexpected, right? Because you can do all the VOD reviews you want, but teams generally bring very different strats to these events. So you really just need to learn to look at the ticks of the players, how the players play with each other, what weaknesses you can take out. Rather than just targeting individual strats, you're looking for opportunities in the team synergy, really. Who can we take out that's going to really make it hard for the rest of the players to do their work? And I think a lot of this is going to depend on really good anchor play to allow the roamers to do their job with and leave just 1 or 2 people on site so that they can do their thing and just, we trust you guys downstairs or upstairs, wherever you're holding. We're going to roam around the map and hopefully get back with our lives intact if we can. But that means on attack, it's all about drone economy. Because if you can keep your drones live and communicate well, you can start to shut those down. You can start to cut people off. You can take advantage of the fact that they want to rotate and punish them for those rotates if they don't see those drones.
Yeah, and for me, I want to see this go 3 maps because I want to see a great game between both of these teams, but I want to see Villa between these 2 games because, like you said, that is a map that Fnatic either don't like or have been hiding.
And it's one we know that Reciprocity are quite good at as well. They've got a lot of strats on it. They've played it pretty consistently going back to whatever. In fact, they were the first North American team to play it back when they were Cloud9. So it is definitely a map they are happy to play. It's just, can we say the same for Fnatic if it gets to that point? If Reciprocity can even, if they win 1 map, and they get to Villa, that puts them in a good position because they're going to be very comfortable on that. So, I don't know. It's up to Fnatic to really surprise here. Can they pull out the kind of surprise they did against EG last time in Rio when they just shut them down? It's hard to say. I do think Reciprocity are going to be a little more adaptive than EG were.
Well, I was surprised also that the bans came out this way, considering that a couple of good maps to really lock down Reciprocity's fluidity on would be maps like Coastline or Oregon, where rotations are quite difficult, and yet neither of those came out, especially
those were the first 2 bans.
Yeah, those are the first 2 bans from either side, 1 each. So I was shocked to see that kind of mentality coming out from Fnatic.
I think it means that both want to roam like crazy. It really spells that, and that's where the operator bans are going to really factor in to whether or not one side has some advantage on that. If they have the right bans, so they can shut down a lot of those roams. But right now there's so many strong defenders. We know Valkyrie is a very likely ban for one of the defenders. But the question is, what's the other one? Is it going to be Echo? Is it going to be Maestro? Is it going to be something else entirely like a Pulse? There are a lot of possibilities for what that second defender ban can be. And I think that's really going to affect whether or not they can play that fluid defense that we're expecting.
Well, we are ready. Ladies and gentlemen, map number 1 between Reciprocity and Fnatic underway. Consulate will be our proving ground for map number 1. Yeah,
this is, like you said, this is going to set the tone. And I think the operator bans here are really going to set that tone. Fnatic first to ban, though, on the attack. This should be interesting to see what's going to go out. Could be a Glass. No, it's going to be a Blackbeard. Very typical ban here. No surprise at all.
Especially on Consulate, with all the window and repel play that is necessary.
Especially against Retro as well.
Yes.
So it's definitely a good initial ban there by Reciprocity. This is where we could see Dokkaebi or Ying go out. Yep, definitely. Those are the 2 bans that Reciprocity's pulled out in the past on this map. They do not want to deal with Dokkaebi. Those phone calls plus the smokes. It's a good reason to ban that.
Yeah, and it's just another good point to bring out that there's not necessarily a Glaz main on either one of these teams that I can think of. So while Glaz is still left in the pool, it'll be up to them to kind of work on the fly whether or not they want to crack that open.
Yeah, it's more likely to be like a Garage kind of play or something like that. Whereas I think now we could see potentially Retro on either Jackal or Capitao are the ones who'll play, but now Maestro is going to be in play, and that should make attacking the actual site a bit more of a problem for teams that are really going to have to do what they can to shut it down. But it also means leaving soft destructors available. It means if you're going to bring Zofia, you need to make sure to actually manage your resources to be able to take out those Evil Eyes. Same with if they're going to bring Ashe instead. You really got to be smart about that, because if you cannot take out an Evil Eye, good luck planting in smoke, which they're definitely preparing for with that Jackal. So we're going to start on Console upstairs here first.
Yeah, attacking upstairs, and like you said, there's no Zofia coming out right now, although you do have Fox rocking nades on the sledge to at least try and get rid of these Evil Eyes, and Lusty with a 6-pick from an Ella to an Alibi. He's going to stick that. Okay.
All right. Well, this definitely should be interesting. They're gonna. The nice thing is Jackal will help a little bit with Alibi in the sense that you will kind of know which one of those is actually real or not without having to drone it first. But looks like we're just going to watch the players for a second. There we go. Get into the game. Oh, nice.
One more beauty shot of them before we head back to the game.
We want to see what their faces look like getting into this.
Exactly. Well, that's one of the things with this tournament is that it is so so crucial to start very hot.
Yeah.
Like we said, it's a double elimination bracket in the group stage. You lose one game, you got to go flawless for the rest.
The upside is if you're in the losers bracket, you get a chance to kind of review the VOD of the team that you're up against.
Yep.
So you do get a better chance to prepare for what strats they are going to bring and potentially play the same maps. Maestros are getting creative, much like Valkyries, where they're just trying to find newer and more useful spots, but vertical is definitely important because you don't want to make it easy for anyone to take those out with grenades, so placing them as high as possible definitely helpful. And Fox has been playing a ton of Sledge, so not surprising to see them do that, and that's going to bring those grenades for the team. But he plays a very sort of a long flank role on that Sledge very often on this map. He'll go on from a far angle a bit late in the round, most often the spiral stairs, and this is what we see Retro doing. He almost always plays these windows, whether he be on Capitao, Blackbeard, or Jackal. It's interesting to see a Jackal player that is willing to just hang on a window. I mean, you're so used to seeing Jackal players trying to kind of go in as a second entry to get some kind of footprints, but for whatever reason, Retro feels very comfortable hanging out on this window as Jackal, and unlike Joystick, he's able to stay alive for a long period of time as long as they make sure the runouts don't hit him. So, all right, Maestro already looking for an angle there. Capitao, Firebolt's coming out, trying to see if they could clear out Yellow Stairs, but guess what? No one there. So actually working out okay for them. That is going to burn one of Skies' Firebolts at least. Should have some smoke left, but it's nice they have double smoke because they have both Skies and Retro able to bring those smokes.
Back underway, still in a 5v5, and the last Toxic Bait will be used for Magnet and have to rip down the stairs. Shotgun in hand, but no one pressuring from below, but raiding terror from above, and the yellow skylight will be Fox. Had to grab the first pick of the Invitational, at least on our side. Not sure if the other game already had one or not, but I'd like to think so.
Knowing Latin America, they're probably all dead already.
There you go. That's also the smoke too, and Magnet had already used all of his utility, so the crucial linchpin in the hold on top of Yellow Stairs being disabled, and now Skies will slowly make his way up. But Lusty will immediately trade out Mark, and that's your breach. Not the most necessary operator top floor.
They're going to be set up. They're still going to have double sets of smokes potentially, and now they don't have any smoke to counter it. So they're actually in a very good position to plant, but that's going to mean the Evil Eyes and the goo mines are going to be critical here for defenders.
Well, as typical with Reciprocity, they get off to a hot start, and there goes Lusty, taking a lot of damage from Skies at the top of Yellow Stairs on that Capitao, and he'll fashion himself a vault hole back through Flag, and bathroom control now from Skies as he darts back and forth, avoiding the hailstorm of bullets coming out of the MX4 Storm, and now Virtue on a flank down below with Rizraz, so double flank towards Yellow Stairs as the rest of the Reciprocity attack descends from bathroom and the Yellow Stairs windows.
Yeah, this is an interesting attack approach here. It looks like the defuse is getting planted by Retro, but he gets killed off of it. Unfortunate for him. Rizraz on a roll.
Rizraz with 2, trying to go for 3, and he'll land it. Lusty will clean it up, and Fnatic will take round number 1 on the defense. Beautiful double flank from Yellow Stairs from Rizraz and Virtue, and a great holdout there from Fnatic, applying a little bit of pressure and buffing back the aggression of Reciprocity to allow them to stall out, regroup, and make their way back up the Yellow Stairs. So a good start for Fnatic on round number 1.
Yeah, definitely down to timing there at the end. They maybe peaked and played a little bit more aggressive than they needed to, especially the smoke kind of getting himself killed on the stairs. But at the end of the day, they waited for the plant attempt to come down from Retro. Pretty much as expected. He's playing a smoke operator. He's going to be going for that smoke plant inside. And they were just ready to pounce on it. And that's all they needed. Good timing. Good on Lusty as well for getting away when he did. That was an interesting vault into the room.
Yeah, it wasn't the easiest one in the world. He literally had to continue building himself a rotate.
Yeah. Let me set this up. Hold on, guys. Can you stop attacking for a moment? I'm very low on health, okay?
Wasn't quite ready yet, but we head back downstairs to the garage now for our first defense downstairs. Magnet sticking the Ela this time, and Lusty sticking the Alibi.
They're going to bring both.
A lot of 3-speed roaming potential. You've also got Rizraz with the Mute Shotgun SMG setup, the more popular setup nowadays as the SMG-11 was added into Mute's utility pool.
Well, they are going to have the Thatcher, and then Sky's now on Buck instead of Capitao. This is something he's been playing a lot. He'll be the one usually to go in, open up the floor inside piano in the hallway in front of the bathroom to get that set up as much as possible. But will they hold into the bathroom is the question. How long will they hold that off? Because the longer you can hold that bathroom, the more likely you can actually stop the attack, even though it is not the site. It's very important.
Well, another heavy gas station spawn coming out from Reciprocity as they attack an entirely alternate objective, but same kind of mentality coming out, and it's the individualistic nature of Reciprocity that makes them so dangerous. They rely on their individual star power, and it's hard to say they don't have it in spades, their fragging ability.
Communication there, right? So that way, if they manage to lose those fights, the communication leads to a trade.
It's interesting to see how they cordon off large portions of the map and gain extreme amounts of real estate individually. They drone for themselves like Foxay is doing here, trying to drone his own entryway into admin. The entirety of the team relies on that kind of individual play, and also they trust in each other as one panel's been opened up.
Yeah, that was quick. Mark got that open right away. Just there was nothing really to deny it outside of a mute, so not a whole lot that's going to happen to stop that. But this is efficiency coming out. Fox is very good at taking the top floor quickly, like you said, that an individual power. He's able to do that very efficiently. It seems like something that is very comfortable for him to do. He's going to take out one of the alibi Prismas as well, just to make it easier to deal with the actual execute. They could even potentially go for plant in there if they need to, but both panels open here, and a minute 45 left. They're in a great position here, especially if Retro doesn't die before he can get those smokes off.
You can see Rizraz playing shotgun point blank on the ledge behind White, and more EMPs come flying into the base of Garage in between Black Car and White Van. It's a 3-man stack for Reciprocity outside the Garage. I think they're waiting for Foxay to initiate a back flank, but here come both smokes and lining straight up his Virtue, taking a lot of damage and not dealing enough. The plant going down from Mark and a 2K for Reciprocity come out in tandem. Mark had to get off the plant, but will reattempt now as Foxay is making his way down Locker's hallway. Plant again, not completed. A third attempt for the plant now coming out from Mark as Foxay is holding the back, but Magnet from above with the FO12 will shut it down on the third try. It won't be the charm. Skies will retreat back up Yellow Stairs to trade that out. Now it's up to Rizraz holding down behind White and Aces to return to the objective. Darting back and forth on either side. Laxing going for a plant attempt. A frag grenade lands on the backside of Rizraz. Pushing straight up. 2 seconds left and he'll down it off. The diffuser lost again at the bottom of White Truck. A flank coming in from Foxay in through Kitchen, holding off the rotate, and it's a 1v2 for Rizraz. 40 seconds, a little bit of damage to the backside as they all hit the deck. Frag grenades come flying. Skies pressing right up with a pistol in hand, and Reciprocity will level things early. A 1-1 scoreline. It's multiple attempts at that plant in front of White Vam, but just not enough manpower on site, being picked off one by one for Fnatic. A good flank by Magnet, but it wasn't enough in the end.
Well, the important thing was they did the plant attempt so early, they could bait out fights. Every single time they would lose the planter, they would trade it. And because they kept a man advantage at the end, they were able to turn that into a win because there was just so many people left for Rizraz to fight. But it was a great attempt by Fnatic. You saw, thanks to the new awesome spectator UI, actually showing us when the plant's going down, how many times they attempted it. You also could hear him baiting out the C4s. Mark would go for a plant, the C4 would come out, he would move off of it. Great, but they had so much time left to work with on that. It was unfortunate they lost control of Piano, but because Skies immediately traded that back, got control of it again, and of course he was Buck, so he could even open more of the floor and pressure behind White Van. Just overall, very efficient execute by Reciprocity, and that's why they won that. They just had the time to work with, and I gotta give props to Fnatic though for being very good at stopping the plant attempts from either Retro or Mark. They're very good at lashing out exactly when they need to stop the plant, and some of that's just not great coverage by Reciprocity of the actual plant going down. They're great at actually getting the kills off the kill on the planter, but if they start slowing down these executes, I'm afraid Fnatic's gonna be able to take a lot of these rounds just off of stopping the plant long enough.
One of the biggest things for me on that round was Virtue as the Jaeger playing White Pipes. Had 2 members of Reciprocity lined up for him, unaware of his presence. It was a reactionary shot from, I believe, Laxing outside of Garage that really saved the round for Reciprocity. Virtue, if he lined up both kills there, it was over. It would have been a 5v3 trying to storm into the Garage with 1 man left. Virtue possibly could have been the saving grace for Fnatic on that round, but they'll reattempt the basement once again, back down to the Garage, and the same droning pathing coming out for Foxay upstairs, and I imagine Reciprocity's game plan will mirror last round.
Yeah, I gotta say though, this is definitely looking like the close matchup we were expecting it to be so far. I mean, this is Reciprocity's map, so they are expected to come out ahead on it just because they're so good on it. But like I said, both teams have a good record on it. But I gotta say, this is a good record for Reciprocity in what is arguably a more competitive environment. So they should have a potential advantage taking this, but the attack is a bit harder. Nice drone work coming out though, catching someone else on cams, and again, super efficient here. If they could just maintain better control around to support the planter, this could easily go Reciprocity's way.
A minute in, not even really, and both panels in the Garage are opened up by Mark. You've got a double stack.
Like Bandit's banned either.
Nope, they're just opting to run the mute with the shotgun and the SMG-11. And once again, Foxay makes his way down the Visa stairs, trying to corral any possible flanks up the Visa stairs, but it was Magnet who again 6-picked to the Ella. I'm not sure if he's rocking the shotgun again or not, but he's been droned out. It is the Shoddy, the FO12. Yellow stairs on the mid-tier by Vending Machine, and he'll rip all the way back down as he hears the telltale signs of that skeleton key from skies from above. You've also got Foxay, who could have been holding a pinch by Spiral Stairs, and they could have immediately eliminated Magnet's possible return to the objective, but it looks like he's made it off safe. And with 80 seconds left in the round, they're still trying to find Magnet. Reciprocity stalled out momentarily. It
does seem like they're being a lot more careful, though, in terms of making sure that Magnet's not able to use that piano to their advantage again, but he's just playing time instead. They are absolutely hunting him, trying to pressure him out, and even the drone from Laxing not catching him immediately is going to give him that extra bit of time. He's also got an ADS in there. He can stall for quite a while before he's got to drop out, maybe even burn some of their grenades, because it's very unlikely for Thatcher to be nearby to take out those gadgets. He's even got to rotate Vault out, which he's going to use now. This is working out very well for Magnet.
Oh, Sky's hopping on drone at the most inopportune time, and Magnet will rip him to shreds. Retro will also fall outside of the garage, and return fire from above from Foxay won't land enough. Mark is going for the plant, but again, it's Virtue who will actually clean up the kill. Lusty will fall in the process, but a 2v4. Foxay and Laxing on low HP. Foxay just goes flying into piano. Has no idea. Laxing on 5 HP will try to rush through in the middle of Black Car and White Van, but it'll be to no avail, and quite the stalled out attack there from Reciprocity, just unable to isolate Magnet and make sure that he had no free reign of Consulate, but inopportune timing there for Skies too on Yellow Stairs. Should have been holding that flank out because that was the only possible rotation Magnet had. He could have gone back downstairs to the hatch, and then this hop control would have been completely alleviated.
It just really came down to them. They got top floor control. They were playing it very careful upstairs. But the fact that they couldn't swiftly take the middle floor absolutely worked in Magnet's favor, because you saw them on those drones. They were trying to pressure him out. You saw Laxing's drone come in as well into the bathroom. The fact that they were just trying to drone it instead, they didn't have anyone behind those drones. That was the real problem. Yeah, you can drone him all day long, but if you're not actually executing on that, Magnet gets away free. He gets to rotate out of the bathroom right after you drone him. Like, hey, Laxing, yeah, you found where he's at, but guess what? He's not there anymore. He's jumped out, and now Skies is going to pay the price for that. It just, their lack of ability to take that middle floor. You saw it the second time around, deja vu of Magnet just hitting it from above when Mark's trying to plant. And it's like, those holes are so working against you. Those are the holes that are supposed to be working for you as the attacker.
Well, back upstairs we go. Fnatic 1 for 1 on the objective so far this match, and it's been back and forth between Fnatic and Reciprocity, and I wonder if Ace is going to open this up a little bit more for Lusty, so he doesn't have to manually do it while in the middle of a crossfire.
Yeah, I mentioned they have at least 2 shotguns. You know, his pistol shotgun, and then of course Magnets. I always like this deployable shield, because fighting that long hallway, especially with the Alda, is really tough for the attackers. You throw a shield in there, it becomes so much more difficult. And we saw what the Alibi was doing last round with the hiding behind a shield with a Prisma. So anytime they took shots at him behind that deployable shield, they were likely marking themselves. And you saw in that kill feed him pop up behind that, and I think they're likely to do something similar again this round.
One of my biggest concerns here for Reciprocity is attacking rounds upstairs. We've only seen 2 of them, well, 1 and a 5th right now. But no breach this time around, a Thermite last time. Obviously the Thermite is just preparing yourself in case they go garage. The biggest problem for me is that there's no Hibana coming out, which is the perfect sign that they have no hope in hell of going for an admin take.
Too much focus on Yellow Stairs.
Yep.
But they have the Capitao and the Buck this time, which means they have 2 sets of grenades from both the Buck and the Sledge, plus the Capitao, plus Thatcher. They have a lot of utility to take control of these Yellow Stairs. The question is, once they get control of the top of that, can they execute from there?
The next biggest question is, are they going to be able to isolate Magnet? Because he's in... Hello? Where are you going, Lusty?
Hello? Well, at least he's not marked who he is, right?
What? Okay, Lusty, that was ambitious, to say the least.
Yeah.
Not going to work out. No one on Reciprocity even takes a single point of damage, and now Magnet's only cover for anyone repelling on the bathroom windows. A frag grenade comes flying in, bouncing off the wall, and will only graze him on his side. Holding firm on the window as the flashbangs come raining in, another frag grenade to push him out of his position into the stall, and he's evading bullets like Neo in the Matrix right now, dropping his last Toxic Babe onto the Yellow Stairs, but he's killed half the round so far in this bathroom.
But I thought Neo is the 6th now. He's not playing today.
I love the dad joke.
Those drones just, Magnet is just eating them up, and the grenades and the Capital Bolt still alive through this. So much utility burned. Still, though, Fox does come out on top. Pretty much you don't want to fight Fox on these stairs. He seems to be winning a lot of those engagements.
Well, while the time has not been on the side of Reciprocity, their health advantage and now the mana advantage certainly on their backside now. 5v3, and Skies is going to run clean into the rotative bathroom as the drones come in. Lots of spray coming from the top of Yellow Stairs. The smokes come out to disrupt the visibility of Aces, but he still has a peek hole on his left-hand rotation. Oh, and they're reading that perfectly, waiting for him to come in for the peek. Ace is dodging narrowly. The plant being attempted, and Retro with beautiful cover. The plant will go down here. It'll be up to Virtue and Rizraz trying to retake both stacked inside of Connector. And there goes Rizraz on the floor. Another repel in. Virtue will grab one, but it'll all be in vain as Skies and Retro will clean it up. And Reciprocity again will draw even at a 2-2 scoreline. A very stalled out attack that then turns successful.
Yeah, it just came down to the fact that they were able to deny that Maestro. He could not move anywhere. He missed that shot on Skies as well, running up the Yellow Stairs. And of course, that rotated in the bathroom didn't work against him. We've seen in the past, once Skies gets control of bathroom, it tends to be over for the defenders because of that crossfire and also the denial coming from Retro in the window. Completely cut off his rotate. You saw, as you mentioned, them reading into that hole that he had, the peek hole. Yeah, they didn't land a headshot on it, but they got so close to just straight up killing him right there. But denying his ability to peek out as well to try and counter it. He did try and go for that peek, immediately got punished for it. Just lack of rotations. They only had 2 angles to play. Skies had the cross. All he could do was pressure that hole. Plant went down, and it was pretty much over from there. Just overall, a great execute by Reciprocity that time once they got control of those Yellow Stairs. I mean, it did cost them a lot of utility to get those Yellow Stairs, though. But at least they were prepared to do that.
It looks like the investment into the war over Yellow Stairs won't be coming out this time around, at least from Fnatic's side, as Magnet has swapped off the smoke and gone to a pulse, leading me to believe that he wants to play the verticality and stealth game a little bit more than the in-your-face, I've got a shotgun, come peek me on Yellow Stairs.
Well, I mean, the thing is, you know they're going for smoke plants, right?
Yep.
That's the thing. They've got the Capitao and the Jackal, and you have at least the ability to see through the smoke, potentially with the Evil Eyes, but the smoke itself is usually the counter to that, right? You throw toxic gas in there, you get the kill. But in this case, they're going to play the vertical game by trying to do the same kind of denial of smoke plants, but from below. And I think that's the right choice because you saw, like I was saying last time, you could not peek that. So why peek it then? Just be below. But if they did control Piano and deny Pulse from playing in there, the plant should be a lot easier.
Once again, the Thermite coming out from Mark, and I can't...
Attackers dropped the diffuser.
I can't really support that. Okay, yeah, that's an interesting one too.
Yeah, apparently Thermite has
ADSs
now. That's good for him. That is smart to have.
Not bad. But yeah, the Thermite in general, the utility doesn't really make a lot of sense to me here when you should be aware that you're going to be attacking top floor again.
Yeah.
It was the swifter and more decisive round.
Yeah. Well, you know they can't go back to Garage yet.
True.
So
they wanted to head lobby.
Yeah, it is an interesting choice. Like, it's not even that useful in lobby. Habana, I would say, arguably is more useful in lobby to be able to open up the bathroom. Well, either way, though, Mark is very good on Thermite, even if he's not playing it for the utility necessarily. And Retro's still doing his thing up here. He seems to never get punished for it. It's just, Retro is like the master of this window. He could probably do it on Recruit. Like, it just does not matter. I mean, that being said, though, the C70 is a very nice gun. So, it doesn't surprise me he's at least effective with that. But I guess when you've spent all of your time as Blackbeard peeking these angles, you know the angles very well.
Well, it looks like Reciprocity have also read into the fact that Yellow Stairs control isn't there this time around.
Yeah.
It's Magnet on the bottom of Yellow Stairs right now.
He wants to be there. He doesn't want to give up those stairs completely.
But he's doing a good job of evading the drones. You can see Skies' drones just barely missing him by vending machine on the midst of Yellow Stairs, and another one directly above him. Looks like it's Skies as well on the Capitao, who's top yellow, and there goes the first pick for Laxing with the AR-33 coming up Yellow Stairs on the flank, but Magnet missing his initial shots. He'll finally land the headshot onto Skies, but on 2 HP remaining. There's a man inside of the bathroom as well for Reciprocity that Magnet needs to be aware of. All it would take is one flip of the cardiac sensor.
Does he actually, am I reading that right? Does he actually have barbed wire instead of C4? I'm hoping that's the glitch that we saw with Thermite, but that seems like an odd choice. I mean, yes, you can use your gun through the floor. You're not completely defenseless, but his main strength here was that C4, potentially. Being on such low health, this is risky, and completely punished for it.
Ooh, the Legion Mine able to stall out Marks and tries to rip it out immediately on the rappel, so Virtue will down the diffuser inside, but now Magnet is gone from his yellow stairs position. A lot of alibi holograms being tagged here from members on Reciprocity, and with 3v3 with 30 seconds left, the diffuser inside of Console. They've now recovered it on a rappel in from Retro, battling back and forth, and a flank coming from Laxing. Fox will shut down Virtue and Connector. The Legion Mine giving away the location. Attempted plant from Retro, not coming out just yet. Ooh, and he misses the leg of Aces, laying prone. Is currently using his Evil Eye, zapping away. The ping's coming out on the plant. Rizraz will flank in, but no, he's aiming at the feet and can't land the shots. Ooh, Retro's on very low HP. He's able to down him with the diffuser. There's 7 seconds left. They have to recover this and get the plant underway. Fox planting now, and now Aces will stand up, lights up Laxing. It's just Fox left, sticking the plant. He's got the calls, but this could be a perfect revive opportunity. Calling that Aces is too far away, so Laxing will pick up Retro, and it'll be a 1v2 with 100 HP to work out of. We've seen a clutch like this in Paris out of Aces. Can he pull it out again on Consulate in Montreal? He'll rip through Retro, 1v1, and he'll fall through the hatch. Fox left alive, halfway on the timer remaining as he whips his way back up Skylight Circle Stairs. Aiming in towards Connector, the current position for Fox. He's lost the Evil Eye, so no more information. Turning the corner slowly, it'll have to go now. Prone behind the couches, Fox will clutch it up, and Reciprocity will take a crucial and pivotal round number 5.
Maestro, absolutely important to that, but Fox reading into the way the flank was going to come out, it's unfortunate. I mean, Fox is always using those spiral stairs to be able to go for those flanks. Laxing was actually the one to try and do it that round, but he reads into that. He knows that that's coming. It was a nice attempt. The drop was definitely going to slow him down, though. Because he dropped and he's a slow 1 speed, that forces him to have to push more aggressively and less cautiously because he's only got so much time to stop that diffuse. So that was an unfortunate situation to me, but man, he made good work with that Evil Eye, downing Retro because he went for the plant once, had to get off of it. Normally, you're not going to get downed on a plant by the Evil Eye, but because he had to do it twice, that was all he needed. And unfortunately for him, he wasn't Fox wasn't softened up enough on the plant to stop that. So it was a tough spot to be in, but we were talking earlier about Glaz. No one necessarily having a Glaz they want to play, but they're absolutely going to bring it out this time against the Doc too. So we're going to see some definite peak battles here. I'm curious where Sky's going to use that. Is he going to be playing it on the window, or is he going to be playing some other interesting angles? But you mentioned earlier about always taking yellow stairs. They have yet to go for an admin take.
Yeah, still refusing to go for the admin take. It'll be the last attacking round in regulation for Team Reciprocity. And just a reminder for anyone out there who's confused about the format, these are best of 3 games with overtime. There is no possibility of a draw at all in any of the games this week at the Invitational. Ace is still setting up his deployable shield that you like to be able to peek the hallway, but at this point, I think if you're Fnatic, you got to read in. They're not going for an admin take. Yeah, they love their smoke plants in the big window, or the B windows.
That shield is not really doing a whole lot for them, unfortunately. So Skies hasn't been a huge impact player in a lot of these rounds, but maybe this will be the round where he does impact a lot with this Glaz play. I got to imagine we're still going to see Retro on that window, though. It's going to be interesting to see. I want to see what Virtue's going to pull out on that Doc, because he's been playing a lot of Jaeger. But if he's such a high fragger like we've been hearing about, the Doc should really bring it out for them, because you see that with players like Kanto that are just top fraggers tend to either excel with the long ACOG plays or the Jaeger plays more often than not. But just the Jaeger hasn't been doing a ton for him.
I imagine what will happen here for the Reciprocity attack is they'll swap out Skies and Retro for positioning. Skies will join Mark on the B windows, and Retro will hold flank on yellow stairs and try and apply a little pressure from the top. And once again, Reciprocity slow in their first minute, just setting up, no one entering the building, because they have no intention of entering the building at any point in the game, really, until they have to go for a plant. It's a very interesting way to play console on the attack when you have the possibility of having so much more control.
This is one of the few maps you can really win from the outside.
Well, there goes the first Toxic Babe from Magnet. Again, towards yellow stairs, but he's not actually playing on the yellow stairs this time around. He's backed off and playing a little bit safer.
Sky's looking like he actually could be going for the balcony rappel here to try and put some pressure on Projector. But he's so concerned about all these windows. I feel like he's not really getting a chance to be effective here, because he's spending most of his time rotating outside and just peeking in the windows. This is really going to come down to a player like Fox to play it, but nope, Retro is down, so that additional position he was trying to play not working out. Now Skies needs to be extra effective on that window that normally Retro plays. But Magnet, again, being allowed to just kind of run around and do whatever he wants.
Yeah, for some reason, Magnet is dropping down. I believe it was the Cubby hatch inside of B-Bomb inside of Console. and then just came through Piano and ripped through Retro with one shotgun blast point blank range. So there go 2 of your smokes. There goes your ability to jackal ping any possible roamers, which will be Rizraz and Magnet currently, and Magnet will make his way back to site with ease, but 50 seconds left, triggering some Leisure Mines in the skies. We'll see just the barely visible fluorescent pixel of Lusty's face peeking through a bullet hole, and it will be enough to end his possibility of causing any havoc and delaying out the rest of the plant. Fox A has now been downed, and it's a technical 4v4 with 30 seconds left.
It's definitely looking good, though. I mean, Skies is able to put so much pressure on that window. It's going to come down to the roamers like Rizraz to try and even get back to site, because if a plant comes down from Mark here, especially now that Laxing gets the kill, a double for him, it is all on Aces to hold this off till Rizraz can get back up, but he's got to fight a glass.
Oh, he tried to run out towards the B window. Shooting the drone will give away his position, and Laxing from the top yellow stairs will require his 3rd kill. So it's a 1v4, and Aces has no chance. Shredded from the backside on a flank by Fox A with the SMG-11, and that's that constant rotational pressure from Reciprocity. So fluid on their positioning, and Fox A goes all the way from the basement to come up and clean up the final kill of the first half, and that'll be Reciprocity taking the first half, as you said, 4-2 on Consulate.
I mean, it's such a good map for them. Even though the rounds that they didn't win, they were still looking very strong. It was just down to especially Magnet being allowed to do what he wants. So I'm curious to see how he's going to play his attacks, because they're really going to need to put a lot of pressure on the roamers especially, and just kind of push them back to site so they can get fights there. So that way, once they start winning some of those fights, potentially, they can actually set up for a plant. Because if they spend their whole time hunting the roamers, you saw what happened when Reciprocity tried to do that with Magnet. They just burned up too much time, and they didn't win any of those fights. So I'm curious, we'll see, for example, takes from admin side. I mean, this is Garage, so they don't necessarily need to take that side. But when it gets to console side, maybe we will see Fnatic wanting to do that, but actually Bandit coming out here for the first time on Garage, which is interesting to say. We've definitely seen such a meta shift with Mute especially.
One of the most shocking things about Reciprocity's play really is that they have just the most amount of patience for the first 2 minutes of the round when they're attacking.
It's that setup, man. Once they feel confident, the trade kills start coming out pretty much.
Yeah, their patience is unrivaled really when it comes to attacking, at least in the first 2 minutes, and all of a sudden it seems like they have the ability to flip a switch and mow your whole team down, and it's got to be a mental block for Fnatic to get over, thinking that they feel so safe, they feel so protected for the first 2 minutes, the first 2/3 of a round.
To be fair, we've seen some of that come back from Fnatic as well. Sometimes when they're playing very patient towards the end of the round, they can execute against the plant, and that's worked out as well, because they're not giving up as many kills to Reciprocity in that position you're talking about. But it's not Vitality style play where it's executing in the last 10 seconds, it's executing in the last minute still. Like you said, that first 2 minutes, they're really setting that up, trying to get a lot of good intel, but the big weakness is they weren't necessarily always executing right behind that intel. We'll see if we see Virtue doing that. He's going to be playing the aggressive Ashe, so they are going to go for that admin take here, it looks like, just to clear this top floor, but he's making sure it's safe below. He was expecting that pulse that got 6 picked off to a Bandit, so he doesn't know yet that he doesn't have to worry about below him right there.
Well, an admin side overtake.
I mean, hopefully they go to try and do the same thing on console, because I'd like to see how they execute on that.
Well, Virtue fulfilling the mantle on Ashe for his first attacking round. He'll trigger the first Legion mine laid by Fox A as a trap into the copy hallway. And continue the droning. It's slow going here for Fnatic as well on their immediate entry, but it looks like instead of playing from the outside of the building towards the inside on their plant execute, it seems like most of Fnatic are well aware that map control will be crucial against a team like Reciprocity that has roaming game on Consulate down like the back of their hand.
Well, big difference too is they're not bringing the Thatcher Thermite combo that we saw coming out from Laxing and Mark. They was able to open up the garage door pretty much right away, and that was a huge difference, because guess what? They're stalling out now. It's already been a minute and a half. They don't have the garage door open. They might even have to go for a cafeteria push because they don't have the utility to do a lot else. Yeah, they have the Habana, but that doesn't do any good if you can't take out the batteries, and Lusty is just now heading towards Piano with Rizraz. I mean, at least they can open the floor with his ITA, and they are kind of bunching up here. At least, I guess they're probably happy they don't have to deal with the pulse on that. But it is slow going here.
You can see Lusty saw Mark on his cams inside of the office, so I'm sure that was An interesting sight to see and thinking maybe he could bang it, but it's an indestructible floor and a reinforced hatch. And here comes a flank coming out from Foxay now, just creeping his way up from the basement, up yellow stairs, makes it to vending machine as Laxing will get droned out in the depths of archives and head towards the walk-in closet. That is something I didn't realize was gone in the spectator. The compass is gone.
Interesting. So I'm just hopelessly directionless now.
Yeah, we got nothing, but there comes the flank. Rexing, I think that was actually Laxing through the hatch down below. It was, and he'll descend even deeper into the backs of archives. He's got 5 HP.
That's all he needs.
Comes away with it.
He's still a 3-speed. He can still get away. He could even go for a reset if he wanted, but I don't think he needs to. He's holding his position tight, and they've got man advantage, 20 seconds left.
No time, really, for Fnatic to try and go for the execute. Laxing is still waiting in the back to pounce upon anyone going for a Walker's hallway push. I don't think Fnatic's even on the same floor as the objective right now. The flashes come raining in from above, but dropping the hatch in complete vain as Virtual will be shredded to bits. Magnet will trade out one, but Sky's in the shotgun. Point blank onto Aces. Up in the rafters is Retro.
Wow.
Gun between his legs and lights up Magnet, shreds him in the office hallway, and there's just not a lot to be had there for Fnatic. Last second desperation attempt on the push, and that's going to spread the gap even further, and you can see them laughing about it. Retro having a good time up top, hanging out like a monkey in the tree.
Well, we've seen that position played a bit where it's actually pretty effective, but you saw the hole at the top of the wall as well. Gives them the ability to peek towards the yellow stairs as they're rotating around from a much safer position, as well as to be able to peek towards the garage door if they come in from more of the Pipes yellow stairs side. Well, here's that console play here, so we'll see how the Fnatic execute goes on it, but they're dangerously close to map point here.
The lead is spreading further and further now. It was back and forth in the first portion of the game, but it seems like Reciprocity have truly hit their stride, and Fnatic at the same time have fallen off. That kind of upbeat tempo they tried to bring on their defenses earlier on, just not really sticking out in that entire meeting room table.
I like that. Yeah, he opens up the table, sticks the Evil Eye there, and then is able to see that. And that is honestly, that is the beauty of this game, is the ability to just remodel the map the way you want to. And that is why the meta is ever shifting. So people figure out new ways to remodel the map. We throw in new operators. I don't know. It's just always so interesting what people will do with that.
10 seconds
and you saw an example of that right there.
See Foxay with his rather effective yet not really aesthetically pleasing UMP setup. Red dot, angle grip, extended barrel. It does work actually surprisingly well.
Yeah,
it is a
skin as well.
It's a functional setup. It's just not a very form factor catering setup. We'll say that much.
I mean, as long as you feel comfortable with the way you've got it set up, that's what matters, because it is not the strongest weapon in the game, but it is a very reliable weapon if you're comfortable with it. And he's definitely played a lot of Pulse, so I expect him to be comfortable with that.
Once again, Fnatic stacking for an admin side take, and Virtue is already in as that entry on the Ash. Pressing over, and there's no contention coming out from Reciprocity. It seems like they're playing a defense that would work quite well against their own attacks.
That's typical.
They're planning and game planning for a yellow stairs take with the B windows, and Fnatic have clearly no intentions of doing so, bringing the Hibana to get the long desk wall in towards A popped open. But you can see the entire desk has been shredded. I imagine there's an Evil Eye at the end of that hallway from Mark, ready to zap off some X-Kairos as soon as they get deployed.
Yeah, that's definitely, the Maestro has obviously been a big problem for teams on a lot of these attacks, but at the same time, it's also been shut down sometimes by Reciprocity. Ooh, they peek through the drone hole.
That is an old one.
They're really playing this downstairs. It's Laxing in that closet last time. Fox playing the drone holes. They are very comfortable in the basement, and it is working out because no one's going to come down to the basement to punish them because they're so focused on the admin top floor horizontal take. Fox is going to be given free reign despite being jackal pinged. Yeah, they know he's down there, but Rizraz is not going to be able to pull off this execute. Let's be realistic. Fox has more real-time information, and Laxing has already killed their entry fragger.
There goes the entry of Virtue falling, I believe, by the bathroom hallway, question mark? Not sure where he died, but Rizraz as well in that one-on-one battle with Foxay right now. And like you said, Rizraz isn't going to be able to push in and clean that up by himself. And Laxing will claim another victim as Magnet will fall, and that's your Ash and your Buck. So a lot of your soft destruction is gone. On your middle four clear, you haven't even opened up anything to dissuade Anchors from playing in stronger positions. And now with a minute remaining to evade match point, it's a bad look here as you're still dealing with Foxay down below. You still have Laxing down below inside of Piano Hallway. In the bathroom hallway, 50 seconds tick away, and it's Aces and Rizraz right now trying to initiate the push from the Visa Stair side. They're
so stalled out at this point. They have Capitao to provide some extra utility here to be able to smoke, be able to put some fire to cut it off. Now they're going to try and go for this execute, but too many missed shots costing them.
losing the gunfights. Laxing with a 3K on the round. It's all aces now in a 1v5. Walks straight into connector and evades a knife and will down Retro. Oh my lord. Retro trying to do it with some style points, but Mark will clean it up and be the saving grace there for Reciprocity. Match point on map number 1 for Rec, up 6-2 currently on Consulate.
The nice shot, Mark.
Oh no, let's not do this again where we pull out the Troy, nice shot Troy.
Yeah.
At least they're not complimenting themselves yet.
I've seen Skies do that, just the nice shot for himself. Yeah, it's definitely a thing. First lobby coming out, actually. We hadn't seen lobby at all on the other side. Looks like we're getting a timeout as well coming out from Magnet there. So obviously, map point is a good time to do that because you want to make sure you do not lose this. They really need to take some time to breathe and think, okay, we tried to push from the admin side. We're still probably going to do that for their console play, but it's not working. We're not taking map control. We're not taking the bottom floor, so Fox is able to do whatever he wants down there. We're not really taking effective control of the top floor because we're losing people trying to push that side and just getting stalled out because they're playing smart defense in connector and bathroom and things like that. We're not pulling anyone out of their positions, we're just walking into them. And that's a big problem for Fnatic right now. They're not doing a good job pinching anyone. They're not taking anyone out. They're not forcing people out of their holes. It's a real problem, I would say, for Fnatic right now. And I hope that's what they're discussing. How do we find some weakness and just pick off one first time? And I would say make it laxing after that 3K last round.
Same operator lineup coming out for Fnatic right now as it's a do-or-die moment here on map number 1 against Reciprocity, the North American surprise powerhouse. Really, I think that was a shocking revelation, really, for this first portion of the Season 9 was that Reciprocity only making one roster move, dropping Goddess for Skies, all of a sudden have catapulted themselves from the 6th spot at the end of Season 8 to the currently the number 2 spot.
Yeah, and
number 3 spot, sorry.
It's the case where it wasn't necessarily Skies coming in and fragging out or anything like that. It's just they set themselves up with a lot more flexibility in terms of the roles that could be played, and it seems to be working out very well for them. Retro on a nice little peek there. He plays a pretty good Doc, something he's done quite a bit in the past. Or not Doc, I mean Rook. And it's, I mean, it didn't get a kill or anything, but it certainly put a scare into them. And that's all you need to slow down the pressure here. They are definitely going to be struggling to get some entry here. They need some kills within the first minute and a half, or it's just going to be potentially over for Fnatic.
Well, I mean, Fnatic, you're already on your back foot. You've lost, what, 4 straight now? It was 2-2, and now it's 6-2.
At least they're going to be okay knowing this is Reciprocity's map, so when they go into their map, they could reset. They could be like, okay, that's fine, we lost their map. That's expected. We're going to win ours. But Villa, as we said, potentially could be very big for Reciprocity, so that's not a position you want to be in.
You see Fox goes for a full map rotation. Was top floor inside a meeting room as the mute, the Shoddy and SMG combo, drops down to Circle Desk, drops down the Circle Desk hatch into the basement and gets double droned. This has also been surprising. Virtue on the entry and in a fragging role throughout the entirety of the game, yet he has not had the best one. Granted, Fnatic only picking up 2 rounds so far, even in those initial stages when rounds were going back and forth and it wasn't all on Rec's side, still hasn't been that impact prodigy we've been hearing he is.
Yeah, and both those 2 rounds that they won were mostly due to Magnet's flanks, really.
Yeah.
So Skies, though, a bit low, might even be downed at the moment. Might get picked back up, but he's going to be... Yeah, that is going to be important because you want that pressure from that pulse, but to be fair, at least they still have, technically everyone on the team, he can still provide intel from where he's laying, not to mention cameras once he dies.
Oh.
Nice shot there from Virtue, finally making an impact on this.
Laxing just pulling the trigger a little too early, so Skies is still down or on 1 HP off screen. Mark will fall as well at the hands of Magnet with the C8 down to about 25 HP, but the wheelhouse really churning right now for Fnatic as they have top control, they have side control outside of the front door. They're ready to go for their site execute with 60 seconds remaining and not a lot of utility on the side of Reciprocity to stall that out. But Rizraz will fall at the hands of Fox, who's gone for another rotation. Virtue with an immediate trade out, and there he comes heating up. A 2v4. Possibly even a 1v4. Still don't know where Skies is at. He's roaming around elsewhere. It looks like he's standing right now, yeah.
Oh, that's good. Diffuser is going down, though.
Well, he wasn't standing very long. Skies will fall. Plant being completed now by Aces, and there's 3 men waiting for you, Retro, as you try to make it through the bathroom hallway. So staving off elimination on map number 1 will be Fnatic. And we'll get another attempt at the timeout, as last time it didn't...
Well, to be fair, it still worked. In the sense that they won the round. So they were able to do it. Sounds like the timeout might actually be happening this time. Not sure what happened last time. But Fnatic have got to be feeling a little bit better. They were able to save 1 round. And I think that was a very good round for them. It wasn't even necessarily all that close. But that was, I feel like Virtue hurt us talking about him not making a huge impact, and he absolutely did that round. His ability to stay alive, put pressure on them, get those kills, especially on Laxing, who has been often a very impact player. But a nice trade on that by Fox, hiding in that spot, top of Spiral, was a nice surprise. Like I said, I don't know, it's just something about him and those Spiral stairs. They're meant to be.
The big surprise for me is that Fnatic waited until 6-2 to attempt a timeout, and now it's 6-3. They'll actually get their timeout.
Yeah.
I'm really shocked by that because you come out of the half down 4-2 after trading out.
That's when you probably
lost.
Should be taking it.
You've lost 2 consecutives. So you're either going to take the timeout at the half to kind of regroup because you're changing sides and new things need to be discussed, or when you lose that next round, then it's 5-2. You're on the precipice of the choking point. At that point, you might want to take a timeout as well. I think they've left the timeout a little late here, but
well, I mean, you see the coach Dizzle there. He's a very good coach. I imagine he has a plan for why he did that, but at the same time, yeah, it is a little dangerous to be doing that. And had he not even gotten that timeout and they lost that round, you wouldn't have a timeout anymore.
Nope.
Because that you only get 1 per map. So
we'd be on map 2.
Yeah, absolutely. But we'll see if they can save it. Garage going to be coming out again. So Lobby, the only thing that's lost. So that was their 3rd bomb site. So you can't feel too good as Fnatic only winning against the 3rd bomb site of the team. Because guess what? They're just going to rotate back now to Garage, their primary.
The only thing I will say for Fnatic there is that their roam clear got exponentially better in comparison to the last couple of rounds.
Some of that was Virtue staying alive a bit longer as well, not getting picked off. And like you said, the shot coming out early from Laxing, giving him away, was just... Yeah, it was much better roam clear, and that's something we saw Reciprocity even struggling with on this map.
Well, the other thing that I also said in that round was that Fnatic were ready to execute with a minute remaining.
Yeah.
Time management as well for Fnatic on that attack was much better. So there are some bright sides with that round, but you're right. Tertiary bomb site, not the best win they could have come away with, but you got to win them all now to just push up to overtime.
Absolutely have to, yeah. And I think some of that time management was just having more people alive, like Sky's potentially being downed, or at least weakened, put him in a position where that was basically 5v4. Their ability to pick off 2 more, that gives you a time advantage, right? The more manpower advantage you have, that translates into time you can use because there's less pressure against you. And I mean, that is a roam clear, right? If everyone's dead, no one can roam, so.
It's one way to do it. You can see Magnet, a little hesitation coming out of spawn, and I guess that's Retro instilling a little bit of fear into the minds of Fnatic, awaiting for those dangerous and possibly game-defining and tournament-defining peaks. It's in Reciprocity's wheelhouse as well to try and take some aggression and set the tone of every round very early. So good caution exercise there by Fnatic coming out of spawns, and no peaks coming out from Reciprocities. It's just one man with an ACOG right now, which is Retro, who I imagine is up on top of his bookshelves again inside of the office.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a good position.
Yep, there he is.
I mean, no reason not to be there, because with that, you have so many bullets, you can suppress them for so long. You saw the doorway as well, becomes a death trap, and he's inviting friends to come play with him as well. So this is, yeah, you don't want to fight this office. You really need to take from the white van side and do some pressure from above, but a nice kill by Virtue. This is him finally starting to kind of wake up, and it is working out. That is Laxing, who had played downstairs so well before, shut down early.
Let's hear back pressure alleviated from Archives. So Reciprocity have lost a key man and holding out for this Lockers push, but Mark is losing his mirrors as well as the door will get ripped open by Lusty, who's carrying Diffuser, and that's got to be an indicator that Fnatic want to go for a back push, considering that the smokes, both smoke operators and Lusty and Rizraz are in the back, and they've got Diffuser in hand. And it's a 3-man stack now as Virtue will join Aces as the 4th. All 5 members of Fnatic will join in, but Mark will trade out Lusty. There go the smokes and the man carrying the Diffuser. Foxay will shred through Rizraz. A trade out from Virtues. He tries to push through and keep the aggression going, but Skies will shut down Magnet on a flank above, and now it's down to Virtue and Aces to keep map number 1 alive.
Fortunately, too slow of a push here. They're getting punished, but Aces still has some health left to make this work. 2v2, but huge advantage going over to the defenders right now, and they also have goo mines to potentially finish off Aces, but Virtue still getting those kills.
What a play by Virtue, carrying the Diffuser as well. A flank from Foxay, stuck on the rotation hole, and Virtue, the lone man on a mission right now for Fnatic to keep them in it, and this is Virtue waking up. This is more what we anticipated seeing out of Virtue. Just incredible, aggressive, clean, surgical plays, entering and cutting through Reciprocity's extremely talented roam game like a hot knife through butter.
I gotta say, he showed up about 8 rounds too late, but you know what? He's still here. They're still there. They could bring this to overtime because we're not playing on the normal best or one rules of Pro League where there's just a tie at the end. They can take it to overtime, but they have to take it to overtime to win, and that's the advantage that Reciprocity have. They only have to win 1 round to just close this out, as long as they do it before Fnatic can win 2 more. Which is, I gotta say, very likely, especially if they can shut down Virtue. They have the goo mines to at least slow down the Ashe. They did a really good job of denying the push from the cafeteria side, but then once they started getting flanked and an actual pinch came out, you saw the great plays of pushing into that small office and actually taking it. That was the surprise there, the fact that they managed to take the small office because they were so focused on all the different angles they had to fight. So that was, I think, a very good improvisation towards the end of that round where they're like, you know what, we've just got to push like this. What's the best way to do it? Hit him from both sides because we're getting stalled out on cafeteria.
Surviving a tidal wave of pressure coming towards them are Fnatic right now. Weathering the storm, currently only down 6-4 now as they had their backs against the wall at a 6-2 scoreline just moments ago. Same operator lineup coming out for Reciprocity, and it was a beautiful play by Virtue going prone up against those kill holes in the bottom of the office wall and spotting out Skies on the smoke, trying to rotate beyond Black Car to give them the 2v1 advantage.
What's funny is they're still not bringing anything to take out the garage door. They're still forcing themselves into the same position of attack. And that's a problem because, yeah, it worked last round. And the last round that Fnatic had was the predictability of Reciprocity because they were set up in the same positions they were playing before. But now that works against Fnatic because Fnatic still have nothing to open that garage door. And any kind of surprise attack from behind is now going to be completely read into. And Reciprocity can adjust so they're not predicted this time. Especially Laxing, so he can live a little bit longer. I honestly see this round going against Fnatic.
It's tough because you want to go in and get that immediate entry. You need that soft destruction to start your entire push, and it's going to be magnet repelled outside, and it looks like that was Skies peeking the kill holes in the floor. He'll do it again. Coming dangerously close to entering into a gun battle against an ACOG with an SMG-11 on a vertical plane on a very awkward angle, but the wall will get opened up by Lusty. At least panel 3 will. Right side open, left side yet to be determined. Still has 1 exothermic charge remaining as all the bandit batteries have been cleared, and Laxing is nowhere near the wall to continue tricking.
I guess the interesting part is they did bring double hard breachers this time, so they were set up at least to open the wall if they could get the batteries down, which surprisingly they did in the first minute and a half. So this is pretty good actually for Fnatic to be able to pull this off. But Laxing actually playing very far off site with Fox helping him. This is going to be down to timing. If they can get to the right spot at the right time, it's going to be quite a few easy kills onto Fnatic, especially even a jump out of the window could come out here from Fox if he's feeling a little bit desperate towards the end of the round to go for a play from behind if they're setting up for plant behind White Van.
This is incredibly dangerous here for Fnatic because you have Laxing and Fox out on the roam. Laxing has made his way to his favorite spot on Consulate underneath that default camera in Visa, and Fox has made to the top floor. The man who was flank holding CEO, who I believe was Magnet, has gotten off the rappel, so it's free roaming ability for Fox A top floor and for Laxing to make his way through, but it'll be Mark starting things off with a Nitro Cell onto Magnet. Again, those floorboards proving to be lethal, but not for the side intended. Magnet will fall, the frags off the board, and you can see the stacking of Reciprocity in the back. So looking to play this deep away and use their utility to stall out the plant more than anything. And the flank coming from above now as Laxing makes his way down spiral stairs, has 2 Fnatic attackers pushing down spiral on his backside. 1 holding flank, 1 progressing through the stairwell, but here comes Laxing ripping straight through, has the audio cues, and Rizraz is ready for it. Laxing will fall, leveling man count at a 4v4. 2 men on the back push for Fnatic, 2 on the front push, but no time remaining, 15 seconds, and they need to commit. Virtue will rip through Retro with a headshot, and they both go flying through the office hallway. Rizraz with another one, down to a 2v4 for Skies and Fox A to work out of, but they down the man with the diffuser and get 2 kills of their own. They have to get the plant off. Ace is putting it down, a 1v1 for cover between Virtue and Fox A. Vaulting in behind, but Virtue with the cover from the kitchen. The comeback of a lifetime possibly for Fnatic, 1 round away from sending us to overtime.
This is definitely working out for them, far more than it should be. Just, I mean, a lot of that came down to Laxing losing his fight, for example. Had he won that gunfight, he would have had all the pressure on them from behind. With only 15 seconds left to go for the plant, I can almost guarantee they would have lost the round right there the moment Laxing would have got that kill, or even just stalled it out. Had he not even gotten a kill, but just continued pressure on them, that just the timing, and it is always a bit of a bummer when one death like that can really mean the difference, but it was a fantastic attempt on the flank by Fox and Laxing. But again, like I said, the timing is everything for that kind of flank. Fox being too far off to stop the defuse plant really cost him because he had to push into such an open situation that it was a pretty easy kill when they were watching it, which is exactly what they were doing.
Well, to stave off the comeback, Reciprocity elect to go top floor on the final round of regulation on map number 1 on Consulate between these two teams.
Well, so far Reciprocity has not lost this bomb site, so.
Virtue now leading the way with 13 kills. I believe he had 4 heading into the half, if I'm not mistaken. So he's definitely been warming up on the Ashe side of things.
Yeah. Kind
of reminiscent of Joystick's early days on Empire. But this is Fnatic on the comeback. 3 rounds straight so far after losing 4 in a row. And now they have to complete the 4 in a row comeback of their own to send us into overtime. Should Reciprocity come away victorious on this round, they will still take map number 1, but they've had multiple chances to do so. Ace is bringing the Hibana tells me that Fnatic are ready to continue their admin pushes and take from the west side to the east. It's going to be a tough road here for Reciprocity.
Yeah.
If that pressure coming in from Virtue pushing straight through with no cares is going to continue on.
Yeah, and you saw this drone setup as well to be able to cover those Visa stairs. They're probably going to get set up again to put pressure from the Visa stairs on their way up to try and play it for Projector as they take the admin control. So if the admin control could be stalled out by Reciprocity, or they can be set up to pounce the moment the execute attempts to go down, it can work out well for Reciprocity. But if they start losing manpower early on through some early picks that say Virtue gets catching someone off position or on a rotate, that could really bring advantage to Reciprocity side, or Fnatic side, and Virtue's got to be in the zone now. You know, the fact that he's able to bring all those killbacks, the rounds going in their favor. When an Ashe player is in that aggressive zone, you really need to shut them down early in the round because that momentum carries, and Magnet getting a nice early kill like that on the smoke with the grenade, that is definitely going to work in their favor. Like I said, those early kills really mattering for, especially now, Connector's going to be a lot safer.
Magnet just jumping straight in through holding. Laxing will trade out Lusty, but they have complete almost site control now. A battle back and forth. Rizraz with that out. Immediate trades back and forth. Leave it in a 2v3 for Reciprocity to work their way out of. Laxing and Fox. Fox has the downstairs control with the plant being attempted inside of A-bomb. I don't think they're aware of this. He's going to nitro the intended wrong person. It won't even land. He's up on top of the desk. Still able to find the headshot, though, as Virtue will fall down to a 2v2. Magnet and Ace is back off and try and cover the plant from inside the closet. Laxing making a quick rotation into A, and Fox trying to provide the calls, but Magnet will rip right through, and this looks like it's going to be headed to overtime, barring an incredible 1v2 clutch and defuse from Fox as he makes his way up Spiral, holding 1 on Connector, 1 by bathroom door, separated in a crossfire. There's not a lot to be done here for Fox with the UMP in hand. He'll be shredded from both sides, and that'll be a timeout for Reciprocity as they lose 4 straight, and we head to overtime on map number 1.
That was definitely a great take there. It was just super fast execution. I love the fact that once they killed Retro, they knew Connector was clear because the smoke is the one who holds off that projector the entire time. You get a kill like that from a grenade on there, the fact that he just completely doubled down on it, pushed right in through projector, took Connector, they set up the crossfires. They almost shot each other in the head trying to take the bathroom, but they took the bathroom out as well. Pretty much at that point, forced it to be a retake situation. Fox, unfortunately, C4ing the wrong person as well. Had he got that C4 off, might have given them a bit more play, but the fact that Fox was trapped downstairs for the most part, unfortunately, I hate to say it, but kind of cost them the round because they lost too many people too fast upstairs, and Laxing wasn't able to get the kill he needed. You said Fox was trying to call out the information for him, but you saw how slow that was because he was trying to get in positions to do that. As he was doing that, Laxing was pushing. The coordination wasn't there fast enough, and just from a grenade to an execute, very well done by Fnatic, just completely playing the momentum that they have. But now we go into overtime. This is when momentum can shift, especially with a timeout coming out from Reciprocity. We can see this go either way. You see a bit more concern on their faces. They're not looking like they're having as good of a time now. Bringing out the hand warmers, trying to get back to where they were. Hopefully they don't let that emotion get to them because this is really important that they win their map.
There's a big point to make that this is Reciprocity's map, and it's Fnatic storming back to keep themselves alive in this. Next map up will be Clubhouse, and should we need it, we'll head to Villa as the decider between these two in our first matchup of the day on the B stream.
It's looking very much like we're going to see 3 maps, the way these two are playing.
back and forth nature. It was a 4-2 split in favor of Reciprocity, but Fnatic respond with a 4-2 of their own, and we're going to get back underway for overtime. A clarification again for the rules of overtime, because we haven't seen it in a little while. In Pro League, it is best of 3 rounds in overtime. You swap sides every single round, and it is a coin flip right now to decide who heads to which side to start things off.
The way things have been going, that coin flip really could decide the winner in this, and just because they have been so back and forth, but a lot of it comes down to attack surprisingly doing very well. I mean,
that's a new thing for Consulate.
Absolutely, and I think it just comes down to just, you know, in terms of the attackers, managing to read into some of the static plays on defense and executing on those. Once they have the good intel, like you mentioned with Reciprocity, where they set up for it, we're seeing some of the same thing out of Fnatic. Once they get a good idea where the actual positioning is, they're able to win a lot more of the fights. But they've also gotten some good lucky early kills from players like Virtue on the entry that have been working out in terms of having the manpower advantage to do that.
That is very unlucky. Waxing hit Retro in the foot with one of his goo mines, and he lost 5 HP for it.
Well, that is probably going to cost him the round.
See that little tick right there?
Yeah. It's unfortunate.
Unlucky for him. But we head into overtime, and Fnatic are granted the attacking side for the majority of the overtime rounds. 2 out of a possible 3 if necessary. And it's attack right now, currently up 8-4 in the split.
Yeah, we see both teams take 4 attack rounds, lose 2.
Yep.
But yeah, it is definitely could be the back and forth again. We could see Fnatic take this attack round, Reciprocity take the next one, and then
who knows?
At that point, it could be Fnatic to finish things off because they get on that attack for the last side.
And you got to think how huge that would be for Fnatic to be on the precipice of an early and kind of demoralizing loss on Consulate, even though it's not your map, to then be within 1 round of taking away Reciprocity's map, going into your own map of Clubhouse, possibly not even requiring Villa.
I don't know. I mean, I could see it going just as back and forth as this for Reciprocity. I mean, Fnatic's map as well. Just because it's not like Reciprocity are bad at Clubhouse either.
No, we saw them win 7-5 against EG during the regular season.
That's no easy match either. I don't think EG stands for easy game. So we're hearing a bit of excitement, I think, come out of some of the Latin American teams right now. So the other stream must be getting a bit hype as well. I imagine they're getting a little tense between the 2 Latin American
It's very condensed in this staging area for group stage. We got
Latin
a lot
Americans
of
are very vocal.
Yes.
So, nice drone placement there. Unfortunately lost the drone, but did get the spot. Again, though, we're seeing so many times where we're not seeing a drone followed by an attacker, and some of that is actually working out for attack in that they're not dying early. But we're also seeing a lot less fluidity sometimes on the roams, where they're not taking advantage of that. They're not really rotating as much as we would expect them to. And Fox really committing to this pulse play yet again, despite it not working out every round.
Well, he'll hop off the cardiac sensor, and he'll be slowly moving his way up spiral stairs, and he's got a flank hold. I believe that's Magnet down by Circle Desk. Tough position to be in for Fox as he keeps bouncing back and forth. It looks like Magnet will drone out Fox. I think he spotted the drone. I think he's pre-aiming this. He wants to take this gunfight, but no, he turns away at the last second. Laxing will trade out Lusty, but Fox will fall at the hands of the C8. There's another man downstairs. It is Laxing trying to turn the corner, cooking a frag grenade, and that'll just miss Retro. He'll take a shot to the shoulder for his troubles as well, but they rushed in and grabbed complete A-bomb control. They're waiting for Mark to peek out of the bathroom, and Rizraz will shut down Retro. Virtue with another one. Sky's trying to bust through the storm of smoke. Magnet taking a little bit of damage from the Evil Eye as well, and it's Sky's alone on the objective, so he's got to wait for Laxing to retake up these Visa stairs. Doesn't look like Aces is ready for this as he's holding inside of A-bomb. He's going to completely expose, no, sorry, he's inside of Connector. Skies makes his way in as well, moving through B-bomb. Laxing will shred through on the flank. He was actually sitting inside of A-bomb, blending into the wall. The camouflage working out. He downs one. Magnet trying to rush through with 5 seconds left, and in the goo mine, the MVP of the round from the grave. Laxing will save it for Reciprocity, as again it was a storming of the gulag for Fnatic into the projector room, but unable to convert this time around.
Laxing with he is like, you can kill me, but you can't take my goo mines away. And I mean, essentially he did it, you know, just off of getting enough damage to set up that goo mine kill as well. That is the White Legion is just, he's savage on the inside.
Did you see Aces? Like, did he look like he was in A-bomb, or did he look like he was on the other side of the wall and connected?
Yeah.
That camouflage, like that uniform he's got on.
Yeah.
I was completely bamboozled. I thought he was I thought he was in connector with Skies.
I've already heard some concern about that camouflage. It's definitely working pretty well.
It looked like he was the wall. I thought it was just us seeing the
human wallpaper.
I thought it was just seeing the X-ray from the other side of connector, but not. He was just straight up sitting there in the corner in A.
It definitely works for that projector room area too as well.
Yeah.
Look at that, Fox, Laxing, and Skies all with double digits. Virtue and Magnet as well, but the number of kills alone is definitely not enough to bring them to more of a point advantage.
You also see, even though Retro and Mark aren't really doing a whole lot in the kills department, I think 5 apiece right now, they have a lot of assists.
Those are both the two support players.
Yeah, which means they're also contributing in the gunfights. They're doing a lot of damage. Typically, when you see some support players on other teams where you have a very frag-heavy lineup at the top, you'll see a lot of guys with no assists, or maybe 1 assist throughout the course of the game.
I gotta say, though, I wish the assist system didn't give you an assist unless you've done like a minimum amount of damage.
Yeah,
just because like you can get the slightest amount of damage on someone and you get an assist for the kill. But you know,
Twitch used to zap people for every assist.
I'm gonna zap all 5 players, use up all 5 tases, and I'm gonna get 5 assists.
There you go.
The assist ace.
That doesn't really happen in Pro League. So it's good to see that at least the support players are also jumping in the fray as well.
Yeah. Well, the important thing for Fnatic is that their fragger is showing up.
Yes.
Virtue has definitely made an impact on this, and unfortunately for them, now they're back on defense. So it's now pretty much on Magnet. It seems like Virtue shows up on attack, Magnet shows up on defense, and that was enough to keep them in the game. But to be fair, their defense was just not really doing a ton. And Lusty, unfortunately, made a lot of what were going to be big plays just not working out. This is not against EG where you could just jump out and get all those plays off. So it's definitely, I don't know. Lusty seems to be taking a lot of risks unnecessarily.
Precarious position for him as well, as he was crossing right in front of that Visa doorway where I believe it was Foxe on a rotation out. And drones abound will enter into the main lobby and possibly being caught out by these mute jammers on elevated positions downstairs. Ooh. And there goes one right at the spiral door entrance. The wooden barricade not going to provide much resistance, as Foxe will utilize at least a magazine to get rid of it. But now it's Magnet with his FO12 stuck inside a bathroom with nowhere to go. No one holding his yellow stairs currently, as he had the freedom to rotate, but it looks like Skies is droning himself in to get in that position once again. And as long as he doesn't hop on a drone at the worst possible time in the entire world, then he should be able to hold Magnet inside the bathroom this time.
What's interesting to me too is Laxing used to spend a lot of time on this map attacking towards the other side of the bathroom windows, the windows that face the hallway towards the bathroom. And he's not been doing that. And that is something I think that would pinch Magnet out a bit better, put some pressure on him, because then he can't rotate freely out of that hole. He just hasn't been doing that. They've been playing a very different strategy, but he's still playing Thatcher either way. Unfortunately, Mark just can't find any angles here, so he's going to get slowed down, but they're at least doing the usual job of opening everything up. They need to force Magnet to drop earlier, though, because, again, it's 2 minutes in, and he's still able to just chill in the bathroom, despite taking about 50 HP in damage.
They're coalescing him around him right now, as Foxe is going to slowly push into the front door, and Retro has made his way down spiral, heading towards the spiral doorway. That door is barricaded off, so it would be long for Magnet to stretch in there. And the plant is being attempted now by Mark in a 5v5 situation. No one's stopping it. A second left, and Nitro will fly errant and not connect. The plant gets down. A 5v5 post-plant situation. Mark will grab one onto Rizraz. The asphyxiating bolt lands at the birth of those breach holes, and now a 4v5 for Fnatic to keep themselves alive. Foxe rip through one with Virtue on a trade from behind White, as they both go flying in towards that diffuser and try and establish some control, but Skies, another victim in his hands. They got the top control from above. Virtue lands one, but he's last alive, and Retro will clean it up. Team Reciprocity will take Consulate by a scoreline of 8-6 in a 5v5 post plan of the last round.
So these trades, I mean, it's like it being on the stock market floor with these guys. The trades come so fast back and forth. Rarely 2 in a row. It's just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth on that. But the fact that it was post-plant, that's what cost them the round. There's not really too much you can do about it. Excellent play, Mark. You were just talking about the support players and how important Mark and Retro are. We've seen that time and time again when Retro's on that attack, playing those windows, or when Mark is playing that Thermite. You know, you question, why is Mark playing the Thermite all the time instead of Hibana? He's just very good at Thermite. He's done, I mean, not just now, but also throughout Pro League so far. He's been very successful, because they talk about, oh, we transitioned him to this role. He was on a bit more fragging roam role before. They put him on support. It's really been working out, absolutely, especially on attack.
Yeah, one of the biggest shocks for me really was the comeback for Fnatic at the end there. It really looked like they had hit their stride. Yeah. Let's take a look at some of the replays here from that match on Consulate. Again, it was Reciprocity taking it 8-6 in overtime after having that 6-2 lead.
Yeah. Quite the comeback for Fnatic, though. It does give me a lot of faith in Clubhouse potentially going their way, which means we could see Villa, which, again, we don't know. I mean, it could be that Fnatic just don't want to show it, or they just ended up accidentally stumbling into it the way the bands worked out. I got to imagine they were ready for that, though. I mean, you don't go to an international event like this without being prepared to play the maps that you could be forced to and knowing the maps the other team plays.
So, again, jumping into the replays from that map, and I mean, you can really see the flanking potential from both of these teams. Their roam game was what these teams both live and die by. And it was very evident here on Consulate, just the back and forth roam games, who could shut down the roam better. A lot of clutch possible situations that just really didn't pan out, obviously. It was a back and forth game in large chunks near the end, in contrast to how it started with 1 round apiece going back and forth for 4 rounds. And then Reciprocity really started to run away with it, and it took a big show of effort and resiliency from Fnatic to be able to come back. And I love this play from Virtue, going prone on those office kill holes.
It was so good to see him showing up because we heard so much hype about him as a player. And I think once he finally got a stride on attack, if he could just work on his defenses, I don't know, phenomenal player for sure. It just, I think some more players of Fnatic just not showing up the well. But Laxing, you saw so many clutch plays from him. I gotta say, he is one of the most clutch players in North America all around, even clutching with the goo mine at the end there. Because that's not just this match. We've seen him do that time and time and time again. USN was a perfect example of that, where they ended up losing, but he tried so hard to clutch every single time. They ended up in a situation where it was looking like just desperate. And I feel like having a player like that is a big part of their success, because when the chips are down and you're down to like a 1v4, 1v3, he will absolutely play his heart out to try and save that round.
It really did look like, with the coin flip going in the favor of Fnatic on that one as well, getting the double up on attack on Consulate when it was an 8-4 split after regulation. It really looked like it was going to be Fnatic running away with that one.
It should have been, but like I said, you know, once they go into the overtime, a lot of times that flips around.
Yeah.
Because teams have had enough time now. You've seen all of the bomb sites that they're going to play. You've seen all of the ways that they normally play it. At that point, it's down to who can adapt the fastest. And in this case, it was Reciprocity.
Well, enough talk about Consulate. It's done. It's in the record books. Let's talk about Clubhouse. Map number 2, Fnatic's pick. Reciprocity's pick was Consulate, and they came away with it narrowly.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. I think we are going to be seeing a lot more back and forth on Clubhouse, very similar to how we just saw Consulate play out. I wouldn't be at all surprised to see this go into overtime again. The question is, will Fnatic, on their map pick, be able to push this to Villa, which is necessary, lest they go to the losers portion of the bracket inside their group.
Yeah.
And that means they would play the loser of the game happening on the main stream right now, right behind us, between NIP and FaZe.
Which sounded like it was pretty
Sounds like it's getting a little interesting,
yeah. Well, I mean, I think it'll be interesting to see Clubhouse, because so we were talking about how defenders have been doing very well on Consulate lately. That was a case where we didn't see that. It was mostly attackers doing very well. Clubhouse is a similar situation. Clubhouse has been very defender-sided, especially depending on how those operator bans go. You ban some of those hard breachers, set yourself up in a good position, especially if you're good at doing the impact tricking in lots of those positions, and the other team's not doing a good job denying your impact tricks. This can be very, very defender-sided. So it'll be interesting. We have the Reciprocity on defense first, so they've got to do something similar to Consulate, where they bring out 4 rounds on that starting side.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready and get underway for map number 2, Clubhouse, between Fnatic and Reciprocity for the B-Stream game for Group A. Lots of games left to be played today. 8 in total. 8 best of 3s today. 8 best of 3s tomorrow. 4 best of 3s Wednesday.
And this is coming off of a super month.
Yes.
Like, I don't know.
A lot of Siege.
We're going to burn people out on Siege at this rate. It's just so much gameplay. And that's without new operators being played in this yet. Capital ban is very interesting here.
Mav and Capital. I understand the Mav ban for Club,
of
but
course.
The Capital ban?
Yeah.
I feel like there's a bandit. Okay, Fnatic, we're going.
Yeah.
We're going way off book here, but okay, I'm down for it. I am enjoying this so far. Bandit ban and a Capital ban.
Well, I mean, Laxing plays both Bandit and the counter to Bandit most of the time. He's playing a lot of Thatcher. He's playing a lot of Bandit on Consulate. So it's interesting to see, you know, will he play the mute, for example? Will he adapt to that? Or will it just be a case where he's going to have to play a very different role altogether? Maestro finally getting taken out. That means an Echo is in play. So it'll be interesting to see who picks up Echo the most and uses it, or if they're just like, oh, we expect Echo to be banned, we're not going to play it. But having the Evil Eyes down does make Garage attacks a little bit easier because you don't have that extra intel. There are a lot of positions you could take advantage of that lack of intel for the defenders, but it does mean someone needs to play Echo or Valkyrie to have the extra, because you know you're not going to depend on the default cams. But in this case, maybe it'll just be mirror windows to go with those Echo drones, but Laxing is going to be picking that up, so he can't play that Bandit, so going on Church.
I'm a little lost here on the Capitao ban. Yeah. I'm trying to envision a scenario in which getting rid of the Capitao is more influential than, say, something like a Glaz pushing through smokes or a Monty pushing on Clubhouse. I'm a little confused by it. And the only real scenario that comes to mind is Bandit tricking on Cash Wall.
Which is
or server wall. Bandit is banned by the same team that banned Capitao so I'm a little curious as to why the Capitao ban comes out on Clubhouse.
I mean, I guess we'll see once they're on the defense side because they're starting on attack first. And I'm really interested to see whether or not Rizraz is going to be a good counter to both Skies and Laxing as well, bringing that extra ability to spot the cameras as well as the Echo drones. Because that is going to be a big factor. Because if those are allowed to be left alive, along with the pulse coming out, surprisingly from Mark rather than Fox, it's I don't know, it's going to be really interesting to see how well they're able to counter intel each other. Because intel matters a lot of this, because especially down here in the basement, right? Because you need to know where they're coming from primarily, because you're mostly going to be turtling up. You're rarely going to roam on this bomb site, so you really need to make sure you know where they're coming from. And I'm not sure that the Valkyrie cameras do a ton for you on that. I mean, unless you're going to roam. It can help in some situations where you don't want to have to maintain visibility. But I don't know, I don't see Skies being able to get a lot of mileage out of those outside of maybe getting an idea how they're pushing. But there's only so many ways to push that bomb site. Mostly moto drops, sometimes a little bit of trying to push in from the hallway if they leave the wall soft. Or dirt takes along with blue. I mean, there are a variety of ways to do it, but it's usually telegraphed pretty clearly which way they're coming from. Especially if you have Echo be able to rotate one of your yokais around to spot that.
One biggest thing that I've noticed so far is the rotation of the members of Reciprocity onto different roles. So you had Laxing and Foxay going out on roams and flanks last time on Consulate, and now you've got them on Smoke and Echo respectively.
Well, one thing Fox told me before is he said, you know, a lot of times you guys are surprised by players playing different roles than they expect, but as a team that's very flexible, that's not something they're uncomfortable with. They're going to play who is the best man for the job on that operator in that strat. And so specifically, Fox said that you know, that's just something they want to do. And we see a lot of teams like G2, for example, being very comfortable doing the same thing.
Speaks, again, to their flexibility, their fluidity, and why they have been so good in the first half of Season 9 Pro League so far.
I mean, teams that can play like that tend to be a lot stronger. Mark, though, doing what he can. This is obviously the better place to play Pulse because playing it in Arsenal can be very unsafe, and that is a very safe position to play him from, but he is trying to counter blue stairs, push as best he can because he doesn't want to get pushed from behind, but in doing so, he slipped off of watching, and now he's catching everyone dropping Moto and coming down main stairs. He knows the push is coming soon. 57 seconds left.
Well, I'm a little curious what the intention is here for Fnatic on their push. You're not trying to pop open the church wall. You've only got the hatches opened up currently. You need your Thermite in there, who's currently inside, and Virtue with a frag grenade. That was inside of blue, so that completely opens up Virtue on a solo push. The Nitro Cell not going to connect from Skies, and here comes the Thermite charge. A little late with 30 seconds left, and it'll get impact tricked. Once again, I believe that was Foxay with the impacts on the smoke, and a redeployment of another exothermic charge coming out from Aces. Onto the wall. Skies on a flank, though, down the main hallway. Will take down Magnet. Laxing as well under Rizraz. And another one coming from Foxay. He just misses the exothermic charge, and two defenders pour out of the hole. Lusty will trade out one, but it's all him alone now in a 1v2. Mark and Skies, 10 seconds. Diffuser lost. And inside of the bar, ooh, a great shot from Lusty. But he needs to recollect the diffuser and get the plant down. Oh, he spots him in the depths of Moto, but Skies will win it out underneath the Moto hatch, holding firm on his position, covering the diffuser. Oh, an overflick there, too. He was able to recorrect at the end, but Lusty had a chance to be the savior of that round. But it is Reciprocity, as expected, taking the first round on defense downstairs on Clubhouse.
Just, again, the trades. You know, once these guys get into gunfights, I think they're showing Both teams have equal skills on gunfights. The advantage that Reciprocity had was the intel coming out from Mark. Yes, he wasn't actively killing anyone, but he was absolutely making the callouts for players like Laxing to be able to get those kills. It absolutely, I mean, the timing sometimes wasn't in their favor. You saw when he came around and tried to shoot the thermite, just didn't manage to hit the shot, but he unfortunately over-pressured out into the main stairwell as well and died, but they're going to tease the Echo and this time come off. Interesting that they're going to go to Gym Bedroom instead of Cash. Well, maybe that's because Bandit is, and they're just like, you know what? We're not prepared for that. Let's go Gym Bedroom then.
I mean, you think about all the tools that you want to bring on a CCTV cash push as well. There's a Monty still available. There's a Glaz still available. You've still got any other smoke operator other than the Capitao.
Hibana, Thermite.
Yeah.
Only the Maverick Hard Breacher was banned.
Yeah, and losing the Mav won't be that detrimental to a push like that, because as soon as you have that Garage Raptors control with something like a Ying or a Monty or a Glaz.
Yeah, somebody can just hard pressure them.
The wall doesn't really matter anymore. That's going to get opened up regardless as soon as you have that Raptors control. So I guess Rec really reading into the bans that were brought out by Fnatic and understanding that, hey, we're in a better spot structurally if we head to Gym and Bedroom. And dear God, is this actually happening? It is. Mark dropping down. I mean, he's got the deployable shield to cover him with ADSs to stop any nades coming in. There's no Zofia. We haven't seen a Zofia played once yet.
Yeah, it's definitely something that's really fallen off. All they did was take away one of the lifelines, and that was enough to really drop the pick rate down. And Virtue, actually, we were talking about him playing Ashe all the time last map, but he's actually normally a Buck main as well, so it was good to see him do well with that. He got that initial kill with the grenade as well. So very effective Buck. He's already opening up walls as well, setting up for his teammates to get in. They also have a Thermite if they need to open up any hard walls to do that. Curious to see if Virtue is going to be able to get the opening kill again, or if he's going to be the opening kill for Reciprocity, because he's pushing in very aggressively here.
Another shocking change to the lineup as well for Rec is that they bring the castle downstairs, but Gym Bedroom, one of the most common sites to see a castle be brought out in the defense, as Virtue will just narrowly miss a rotation out by Foxay. No castle being brought on the Gym Bedroom hold, so soft destruction abound on the side of Fnatic will aid them here, and they won't have to worry about the castle barricade slowing them down momentarily. And a Thermite charge coming out now from Aces, and Mark's going to take a lot of damage and a crossfire from the window and the CCTV doorway. Magnet will clean it up onto Mark, and that's a Nitro Cell removed from play as well on the side of Reciprocity, and control of construction forfeited.
That's a very important initial kill there. Now they can play a little bit more aggressive to pressure that. All they've got to do is try and get Hot Tub open potentially and start setting up. But Fox trading it back onto Lusty means now they lost one of the hard breachers. It's all down to whether or not they have another exothermic charge available to open that wall. But I mean, it's got a window right on it, so it's going to be tricky. Skies, though, following it up onto Virtue. This is looking decent for a Reciprocity comeback. Now that they actually have a man advantage, despite Skies being on such low health, they still have enough time to reset him if they could do so safely.
I'm just lost how in the world Foxay was able to get that kill, because Magnet should have still been on this balcony. And it was Lusty rappelling up right above that CCTV window that Aces just jumped out of.
Probably just timing is really what it comes down to, you know, just the right peaks, the right time.
It's a real missed opportunity and a real missed position. Like, that's your job there if you're on that balcony for Magnet. So early mistakes being punished by Reciprocity, and another EMP just comes flying in. And ooh, an aggressive peek from Skies, and he'll win that out onto Magnet. 2v4, 1v4, 0v4. They all fall like dominoes, and Fnatic on their back foot will drop 0-2 now on Clubhouse.
What a quick closeout. As soon as the Legion got that kill, it just collapsed like a mousetrap onto Fnatic. That was well executed. Every single one of Reciprocity just in position to just pounce. So they not only do they not go to Cash second, they go to Bar third. They are really pushing the meta here.
I'm dancing right now, man. I love Bar. Everyone does not like Bar ever since the rework on Club.
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier. It's definitely something that we were talking about.
It's doable.
It's doable, but it is tricky. It is really dependent on a lot of variables. But
easy little bit of top control. You get the castles to shape it. You pop open the lounge wall looking into garage and put an ACOG looking for the bottom portion of the castle from the bottom of the stairs from lounge door. Oh, they got no garage.
The only ACOG they have right now is Fox on that Echo. So they're definitely not playing like that. And Laxing actually bringing out the first alibi for Reciprocity, something Lusty was playing a ton of on the last map. So it's interesting to see them bring that out. It's got to be part of the strategy, but I think the most important part about picking this bomb site is it's unexpected by Fnatic. They're not going to be bringing the right tools for it. They're not going to be like, oh, we'll bring Monty to push in for stock, you know, anything like that. All they've got is the tools they were already planning to bring for what was likely going to be a cash take.
Well, you can see Fnatic as well not trying to manipulate their roster too much as far as op compositions. They are keeping the same operators over and over and over again.
You still have 2 castle barricades in your pocket. Do not get yourself killed doing that.
I mean, it's
there he goes.
He's down.
Skies, come on.
Looks like he's going to get picked back up, though. No one's going to be in range to clean that up, and they've got the cover from the front door as well. So Sky's up to 50 HP, but just a ill-advised peek, and he'll finally use that castle barricade. Say, screw this, I'm done.
Yeah, seal off the pool table. Like, you have fun with that. I've scratched.
I mean, if Magnet hits that headshot, it's an entirely different ballgame, man. Yeah. You got to be smarter than that.
That was definitely a risk that did not pay off. Looks like we're seeing an update on the other game, and it looks like FaZe has actually managed to take NIP 2-0.
Wow.
Well done by FaZe, who actually was not playing super great in Pro League, so a lot of us, I think, were anticipating NIP to at least bring a good competition to it. Rizraz, though, bringing a good competition to Mark. Nice early kill on the Jaeger.
Rizraz pushing in from construction with support from Virtue and Magnet up above, so the top control being surrendered by Reciprocity as Fnatic moves in. You can see Rizraz just trying to get rid of all the electronic deployments of utility downstairs by Reciprocity. So that early peak from Sky is not paying off, as now the health advantage is strongly in the favor of Fnatic, and the man advantage one in hand for Fnatic as they push in now from the garage. Changing up the take a little bit, they have that top cash control, and it'll be up to them to hold out and wait for Skies to come on this flank, because you got to know it's coming at some point.
Yeah, he's definitely prepared for it, trying to set up maybe even to be able to use that window. He knows someone is potentially going to come down the stairs, but Retro, the second to fall, this is not looking good for Reciprocity, but hey, this is their 3rd bomb site. Again, like they lost it on Consulate on their 3rd bomb site as well, so.
Losing the man count 1 by 1 and just being caught out in unfortunate positions, surrendering that top control extremely early. Laxing looking down the kitchen hatch into blue box, and that's Virtue in the basement taking some damage on his heels, but he'll make it away to safety, and Laxing won't re-peek as they have a severe disadvantage in man count now. With under a minute ticking away, it'll be up to Fnatic to convert this into a proper site execute, and it looks like they want to stack towards stock. You still have the top control to hold off rotations from anyone moving their way in through bar, but wherever Aces goes, that's where the plant needs to go. As he's carrying the diffuser, he'll dictate the directionality of the push, and there's 35 now ticking away. Not a lot of movement being made for Fnatic, but you've got 3 Fnatic attackers all stacking outside of that front door and lounge.
Yeah, this is definitely coming down to it. They're just not pushing. They need the intel, and they're obviously not getting it fast enough. They're setting up for a stock plant, potentially clearing with Thatcher, who's now taking a ton of damage along with Aces. Plant not going down thanks to an impact. Well done by Laxing, but traded back.
Laxing again, playing in from the kitchen hallway, stalling this out. The diffuser is not in hand of any Fnatic attacker. Virtue will take down Laxing, so it's just Skies alone who runs out and is detected. Fnatic was unable to recover the diffuser, but they still win it out on kills as Skies goes for a run out topside and gets immediately detected and gets slapped back down. What a shot.
Yeah, unfortunately, that just was not the defense that they were hoping it would be. But hey, maybe Bar will be in your favor next time. Church, it is, though, they can go back to that now. So with that Bandit ban, it seems like Fnatic have pretty much denied cash play. It's from the way that Reciprocity obviously wanted to play it. They must have looked at the VODs and said, you know what? If we just deny that Bandit, we can make them have to play, you know, potentially subpar sites. But that being said, Reciprocity won Gym Bedroom just fine. So that was definitely, like you said, due to some lack of proper flank control coming out from Fnatic. Skies is going to sneak over to the mute. No 6 picks, though, coming out from Fnatic. As you said, they're pretty static on that lineup. To be fair, it's not working terrible, but they have only won half the round so far now in the sense of a 1 versus the 2 being won by Reciprocity. Now going back to their favorite bomb site. This is going to be predicted, though. They are, unlike Bar, this is not going to be super unpredictable to Fnatic. They know they're attacking Church. They can set up for that. This is the potential to bring it back to that 2-2. I mean, this is what we saw last map, right? One team was up 2-1, went right back to 2-2, and then that's where it started to become a sweep. So we'll see if the same thing happens on this map. Again, this is Fnatic's map, and Fnatic already looking a little behind on it.
It's interesting. Sorry, it's interesting to see the game plan changing for Fnatic. If you remember back to Rio, it was Fnatic who really loved to isolate NVK in their game against EG. They wanted to drone him out furiously and endlessly, put him in a corner, and rip him to shreds. I was imagining that same kind of mentality was going to be coming out to one of the top fraggers.
It probably
on
should be laxing, really, because
I'm thinking laxing.
It's just, if you kill him early, it becomes a lot easier to kill the rest of the members, I think.
Especially when he's playing such an important role on Echo right now, and he's been the mainstay on Echo through 4 rounds now that he has, or I think in round number 2 he swapped things up on Gym Bedroom, but majority Echo play means he's got all the intel at his disposal. He's got the ability to stall out the plants. He's got the ACOG, the lone ACOG on the roster that Rec have been bringing downstairs. He dictates a lot of play, and being able to isolate laxing off, and just like they did to NVK in Rio, find one man, take him down, send everything you got at him, and let the dominoes fall later. Mark being droned out in the main hallways, toss an Nitro Cell in desperation. It even gets EMP'd out. It won't even connect on the floor and detonate. So Mark losing some utility for free there, but again, Reciprocity taking some aggressive shots.
Yeah, Mark's going to just be playing that role he was playing last time, but they're going to know he's there. So they just need to read into that. But that wall being completely reinforced means they can't do a lot to him. And so he's going to be able to stay alive for a long time. So it's down to communication. Can he communicate effectively to his teammates to make those kills? But unlike having the Valkyrie, this time they have the Echo to provide that extra intel with the additional Echo drones doing that, as well as they've got the mute jammers to try and deny some intel from Fnatic. So Fnatic needs to start to kind of form a sort of spearhead here, whether that be from blue or coming down through Moto or even the main stairs. They've got to start to poke at Reciprocity or time's just going to burn away, and they're going to be going for a desperate Moto push at that point.
The desperation pushes and the time control for Fnatic have clearly been an issue for both Consulate and Clubhouse here so far. So one toxic bait from Foxsaber, repel magnet from punching open the castle barricade at bottom main manually, but it's Virtue looking to push in through blue once again. Retro taking a little bit of damage from a frag grenade, I'll imagine, down to 75 and now down to 4 HP as he ducks in behind the generator inside of blue. A smoke grenade toss in the wrong direction towards Oil Pit Stairwell. There is one droning from there, and that's Rizraz, but Virtue having all the control but not a lot of time remaining. He needs to push in this engagement, control and dictate the pace of play. He's not doing so. He's waiting for his pinch to come in from his partner and holding his angle. 30 seconds remaining. It's up to Fnatic here, and Laxing will shut down Rizraz trying to come down at Oil Pit. So that's the partner of Virtue dispatched of. Magnet finally has this castle barricade open, but they don't have Church Wall open yet. There is 19 seconds left, and everyone needs to go. Everyone's still on drones for Fnatic. It's going to be a last-second bloodbath as they all come racing in. Retro still holding the cross. Virtue will finally push down blue, holding shotgun point-blank range as Mark, UMP rather, and Virtue will trade out Retro inside of blue. But there's 3 seconds left. They need to push in for the plant. They have kitchen control magically, but again, no plant coming out as Ace is pushing through into a death trap inside of Church, and it's a 3-1 lead for Reciprocity off of quite the confusing attack from Fnatic.
It pretty much turned out exactly like I said. They couldn't get enough kills. They couldn't form a spearhead, so they went for the desperate push onto Moto. Unfortunately for them, there was still a smoke left available for Fox. That completely stalled them out, combined with Mark pushing that UMP around the corner. That was maybe a little bit aggressive for an operator that doesn't have a shotgun. I mean, you can pick a shotgun, but you rarely see a pulse with a shotgun. But it's just, that's risky to do, right? Because you've got to land a lot of good shots or hope they're low on health or land a headshot because you do so little damage with the ump. But the fact that he was able to hold it off and not get killed himself by the smoke, just good timing. And Retro staying alive for as long as he did in blue really just it repelled them in, and they should have been able to get a kill. Had Virtue had another grenade, I think he could have been able to easily finish off Retro. Not to mention they were able to drone him to an extent to see which way he was facing. They could have pushed him, but just not from that side easily.
I'm so surprised as well that with the amount of droning in the last 30 seconds that Fnatic were doing, they didn't realize that an Arsenal plant was free. You saw Lusty drop in down the dude K9. That was your only defender in Arsenal. Everyone on Reciprocity was stacking, waiting for you to go for a Church push. Why are you not switching up that call? Why are you not ripping open the completely soft wall on the main hall to get into Arsenal? Change the push, read the play.
That's obvious.
Play against your opponents. Don't just run the same strat into the ground.
That's down to the IGL. The IGL is the one who needs to make those calls, and the rest of the team needs to follow. It's just, you know, it might have just been lack of good IGLing or lack of good communication in terms of knowing going, you know, because
this?
you got to remember the IGL's got to form a lot of information. This is our first cash defense actually as well, so it looks like they are willing to do it. But yeah, leaving that wall soft without a bandit, I mean, that's smart. You don't have a bandit to defend it. You don't want to do it with a mute, so you say, you know what? Thatcher away. We're just going to shoot you in the feet. And I think that's great. I love to see when you realize, like the Arsenal wall, for example, on border, when they realize they can't defend it, they just set up half of it soft half the time, open up part of the wall, and just set it up. So go ahead, come over here. We'll just shoot you in the face. And I think that's the way to play it when you have a situation like that. We'll see how it works out, but I definitely like the footholds.
Well, it'll get ripped completely open now by Virtue on the rappel by the Skeleton Key. Left side vacant, right side still a little bit of wood remaining, and Mark seems to be peeking these angles with a mirror on the double hard wall looking into CCTV.
Yeah, I don't know how he's going to do much shooting with that. He's definitely going to be able to spot, but I don't know what he's going to really be able to do to execute. Doesn't have any kind of C4 or anything. He set up his bulletproof camera as well.
The biggest thing is that's a standing mirror as well, so all it takes is one person to push in through garage door. You can see Foxy trying to provide cover from the lounge stairs currently, but this is quite the peculiar setup, and now you've got breach holes on the backside to push Foxy out. There goes your lounge cover. Magnet wasn't playing New Blue Window, unfortunately, to clean up that kill, but I mean, Mark's in a world of hurt right now.
At least Lesty actually in the more of a world of hurt in terms of health, but it is surprising they're not able to actually take Mark out, because like you said, the angles completely favor Fnatic, but you know what, they're just not executing on it. You see, Virtue being stalled out is a huge problem for them here, but at least Magnet is able to execute on Fox. That's the start they needed, but now they've got to turn into something else, and just time's not on their side with a minute left.
Fnatic for a lot of these rounds attacking on Clubhouse, and I get you're attacking on Clubhouse, so, you know, not the most favorable position to be in at all times. However, they just seem very indecisive. They seem like they take forever to make a decision, and then they commit to it with 5 seconds left and just try and throw as many bodies at a wall and see what sticks. And
that's the problem with being stuck in an isolated region like Australia, is you only have so many teams to play against. You don't have as many pocket adaptation strategies.
Look at what the hell is happening right now. You got 3 people stacked outside of the garage door. What do you think you're going to do? All run in through there by yourselves?
I mean, they're going to try.
Someone's got to pick a different angle and hold down his rotation.
Well, they've got rid of the ADS, right? So they've got grenades from Virtue, potentially, to do something about it. There we go. See?
There you go.
Called it, yeah. Kobe'd right up onto him. That was what you should have done earlier, because now you've got 20 seconds left to do something with that.
Look at the time remaining. 15 seconds. Skies will take down Magnet as well, and trying to connect through the grate will be laxing, but he's just killing more and more time. There's 10 seconds left, and they're distracted with a man in the basement instead of trying to go for a site execute. Just darting back and forth, playing with his food. Somehow Aces is putting down a plant, by the way. Skies will fall as well, so it's suddenly a one. What?
Operators, you are out of time.
What? Where did you go, Aces?
Yeah.
Oh, we got down.
Man.
What a rush. What a rush by, I think that was Skies on the smoke.
Wow.
Skies are retro.
Just laxing out in the oil pit, just dancing around. There's the timeout coming in from Reciprocity. They are in the huge advantage right now at this 4-1. Now, last time they were in a 4-2 situation, the comeback came out pretty heavy from Fnatic, but this time they're in a 4-1 situation, calling the timeout, saying, how do we close this out? Now, we've got Jim Bedroom coming out as our next defense. We've been able to win this before. We won Cash. We've won Church twice. The only thing we've lost is Bar. What a great position to be in, though, as defenders. We were talking earlier about how Consulate didn't go as defender side as we expected. Clubhouse certainly is delivering on that aspect.
I'm in total shock at what this time control is for Fnatic.
Yeah.
It's
like you said, it's the IGL thing. It's just not, it's not seeming to be there.
They seem so indecisive, and they seem like even when they make a final decision, it's the wrong call.
It just doesn't seem like something they've practiced well enough. That's what I mean. It's like I feel like they lack some of the experience and practice to execute on some of these alternative ideas where they go, okay, this is the situation now. They're having too much to call on the fly. They're not really making decisions on that, because when you've practiced to adapting to a lot of different situations and you make some calls and stuff, some of your individual players can execute without being micromanaged. But when you're in situations that you're unfamiliar with and you're having to make calls, you can't micromanage effectively. And so you end up with people standing around waiting for the call to do something. They end up going like, okay, tell me when to do it. Tell me when to do it. What do I do? What do you need me to do right now? And it's like the time's ticking away while the IGL's trying to figure that out. Okay, who's got drones left? Where are they? What do you know? And that's what we're seeing. The soft wall again, just working out. So I don't know, I feel like this is going very much Reciprocity favored in terms of being able to make those adaptations to throw Fnatic off, but I'm curious how it'll go once they switch sides after this round.
Another instance of a member of Reciprocity taking the biggest gamble with their life, but able to walk away with it nonetheless.
Yeah, this time...
it was Mark peeking that soft wall on server, the CCTV wall. He was pinged out against the wall, 2 members up against that wall from Fnatic, and yet he escapes with his life and no damage taken.
He still played fairly aggressively, too. But that is absolutely what they need, because you were talking about earlier, the time management out there from Fnatic. What do? Peek them early.
What is Magnet doing? He's prone on the ground underneath the window with a pistol, and he allows
Probably waiting for a call.
Allows Mark to make it back into the objective with safety and 100 HP, and still with a nitro cell. It's these little moments where someone on Fnatic forgets to do their job, and everyone right now.
Oh, there we go.
What are you doing, Fox?
He is, yeah, he's over-peaking now, that's for sure.
Trying to get rid of this placement of Magnet on these balcony windows, and a nitro cell that was left alive because of the poor coverage will detonate errant on a wooden barricade and not do any damage. Sky's taking a little bit of damage from Virtue as well outside of logistics as they try to push in and clear out that back hold, but 5v4, a minute 15, it's looking decent for Fnatic, but they again have to convert this into a proper site execute, and there's a lot of utility on the side of Reciprocity to stall this out again.
Yeah, Magnet, he looked like he was waiting for some calls. Now he's actually doing some things on his own. It led to a kill on Fox, but time ticking with 57 seconds, and they only have 1 kill. It is important that it was on to the smoke, but there is still going to be goo mines left. There's still potentially a C4 left from either the Mira or the Mute, depending on who used theirs for that window. Virtue needs to start to push in. He needs to play aggressive now, and he is punished for it by laxing.
Hitting the deck immediately, laxing with the cover, and Retro with the down from the shotgun, point blank range, and again, Fnatic continue to stall out. Rizraz trying to press, 30 seconds as he turns the corner, and again, Retro on his stomach with a shotgun in hand, waiting for any poor soul to turn the corner. Magnet will at least grab one onto Sky, so they have the man advantage again, but 20 seconds, they need to push and get this plant initiated. Gym control isn't quite there, there's plenty of rotates. The vault coming in now from Magnet as he gets off his window control. Retro on the flank in through construction. Magnet will shut down, and he walks through a Claymore and somehow survives. Once again, a 1v4 situation for the Mira. This time it's Mark rushing through into Jim. Magnet will lose out on that gunfight, but 25 HP remaining for Mark. It's the reload on the Vector. He's got Lusty coming on his flank from the bathroom hallway to Jim, and now he'll give away his position inside. It's a little bit of damage to Aces holding the diffuser, but here comes the flanking from behind. Aces will clean it up from the bed, so again, it's a 4-2 split in the favor of Reciprocity heading into the half. And it's Fnatic who seem to be the culprit of making the majority of the mistakes, at least in this map.
I gotta say though, Magnet definitely seemed to be saving them a little bit, despite him kind of sitting there wondering what he was doing on the windows. Still managed to get 2 picks to help that entry work. It definitely didn't work out as well as they were hoping. It was just, I honestly can't believe they got the plant down. That was definitely down to desperation, taking as much of the room as they could and just taking advantage of any cover they could find. I loved the flank by Retro, but walking right into a Claymore, you could see the laser just before he got downed. Unfortunate situation being, but
feels like DreamHack Montreal all over again.
Yeah, where they're just gonna push it into overtime every time.
No, well, yes, that as well, but also the Claymore on Consulate.
Oh yeah, from Retro.
Yeah, Retro walked into it and
ironically,
died.
Yeah.
The look on his face was just.
Those are his arch enemy at this point. Well,
my scream in that is also pretty good. I just lost my mind.
Absolutely.
It's a fun event.
Classic. That was probably the best Claymore kill in Siege history.
Well, 4-2 split. We head into the second half, and we begin with a timeout.
Yeah. I believe Reciprocity called theirs earlier, so this must be from Fnatic, as they are... Now, this is what we said they should have done last map, right? When it came into the 4-2 switch, Dizzle should have called the timeout. He's doing exactly that this time. So...
Better look from them.
Yeah, will that lead to, again, a comeback? Because last time they didn't do that, but they did get the comeback. I mean, they tried to make the timeout call, but failed to do so in terms of like not getting it that round, but the comeback did start. Now, the comeback technically might have already started. They just got that last round.
That's the thing. If you walk out 5-1 on the split, that's looking pretty bad for Fnatic.
4-2 is not the worst.
No, 4-2 on a clubhouse, that's actually pretty normal. My gripe with Fnatic really was there were a lot of instances in those rounds that it looked like Fnatic possibly could have been coming away with at least a tie, if not a lead, heading into the second half.
I'm curious if Mark's going to stick that glass.
Yeah.
No, he's not. You don't want to necessarily telegraph that early. But Magnet's also going to 6th pick. Again, the Valkyrie down here for the basement, you get some extra intel. It just depends on how you want to use that. Are you using that to be able to defend certain key spots? Say for example, blue, right? You can stick a camera in there to be able to get some good intel without having to peek it, because they are going to be droning it first. If you're watching that, you can see when they're droning it. You have an idea if they want to push blue. Dirt, you don't really need that. You can stick a goo mine in there if he had stuck on Legion and been able to tell if they were pushing dirt. So we'll see if that ends up being impactful. But Lusty, again, going for the alibi plays. See if it pays off. Sky's actually doing quite well. 8 kills on his side, and the next highest kills at 3. So he's definitely showing up so far on the defense. Will he show up on the attack? On this buck. Now, interestingly, Mark playing the Sledge. Fox plays so much Sledge. It's interesting to see him switch over to Habana. It's very unusual switch. We were talking earlier about, you know, Fox, what he said about that, but at the same time, that is an unusual play for him. I would have expected Retro or Mark on that, just because that is generally more of a support player role. But at the same time, Retro is going to be taking what is Mark's normal role of Thermite, so they're swapping it all around.
Yeah, and I mean, they're sticking between their defensive selections and their offensive selections. They're staying inside the same role typically. Your Habana player will be your smoke player. That was Fox on defense with smoke. Laxing, your Echo player, usually be your flex support. He's playing Thatcher now. So they're sticking to their roles that they predetermined on defense, I guess, and they're remaining pretty pat on that. You see the mute jammers being placed down in behind.
Oh, no. Drone ended up going through it. Now he's going to get marked. I don't think that's really going to hurt him, but it is going to tell you that the drone potentially hit one of your alibis.
At least a little bit of intel afforded to the side of Fnatic, who seem to be trying to exercise as much control over the entirety of the map, at least for the first minute. We'll see how they fall back and peel back.
This is a pretty heavy roam for Church defense.
Exceptionally heavy roam for at least what we've been used to seeing in Magnet. Oh, I guess Fox is still outside of pool window. He's got 2 attackers ready to come in. Retro making a very slow entry with Diffuser as that Thermite into Garage. Wooden barricades being opened up by Skies as he makes his way in through Strip as well. So you can see the collapse from Reciprocity. Same as Consulate.
Yeah.
They take their time droning. They take their time on their setup. But once that execute comes out, frags go flying.
I mean, you got to admit, this is a pretty slow take for a Church defense. Usually these top 2 floors are taken much quicker than this. But again, it's Magnet in a bathroom stalling things out. That's just what he does, I guess. I mean, I would not want to encounter him in the bathroom here at the venue either.
King of bathrooms, but it'll be Foxay shutting down Lusty on an alternate roaming position. But Rizraz, top floor, is the mute. Bullets raining down from either side. He's got a crossfire, literally 1 HP, and bang through the wall in the crossfire. Laxing jumping into CCTV from rafters. So you still have Magnet, who was up on a roam game by the bathroom, and that's a Valkyrie deployable shield. That's a decision you could make. Why though? Nitro cells are pretty nice.
Let's hope for Magnet's sake it works out. He might have been planning to use it upstairs if he needed it, but it is interesting to see him kind of adapt to that early and stop them from being able to push in and run in through Moto. He's expecting them to push more desperate Moto just like they did, but in this case he's actually playing in Moto. And then, I don't know, this is definitely interesting, but it looks like they are anticipating an Arsenal drop.
You see Magnet inside of Moto, waiting for Skies to turn the corner. I do not think the drone has spotted him. There are 2 members now. I believe this is Laxing and Skies, both coming down. Skies will fall on a trade. 13 seconds suddenly, all of a sudden, as the time disappears into the ether. Another man trying to push main as that's Laxing, and the plant is going to have to start going down as they drop in, but Virtue. Beautiful shot onto both Retro and Mark, trying to push the main hallway. Laxing will get a fruitless kill onto Magnet, but it will be Fnatic taking round number 7 and drawing within 1 round, only down by a score of 4-3 now.
The comeback continues.
That time control. It's been an issue for both teams now, at least through 1 attacking round for Reciprocity.
And again, deja vu, it's Magnet doing it.
Yep.
Magnet hanging out in a bathroom, unable to be pushed out right away, costing Reciprocity a good 1.5 to 2 minutes, them not getting the kill on him, it leading to a loss, and him actively being part of that downstairs. We're seeing the formulas here. They're absolutely working out, and Reciprocity needs to adjust to that. They need to make sure, okay, we need to take Magnet out or push him down so much faster. What they need to do is be behind a drone coming at him. They're going to 6-pick over to the Valkyrie on defense again.
And it's a Zofia being 6-pick-2 on the attack. Our first Zofia of the day, and it took a map and a half. So you can see that one stun canister, or one stun in the lifeline, being removed, clearly having a drastic effect on the rate of play for that operator. Sorry.
I got to imagine the Zofia pick is also partially to be able to deal with Magnet. Situations where you cannot push him effectively, being able to bounce grenades in to stun him or potentially to kill him makes a big difference on pushing roamers out. I mean, we'll see if that pays off as they are not playing the same bomb site. They're going to be Gym Bedroom.
Yeah, Gym Bedroom again.
This is actually a great bomb site for Zofia as well.
And it was Fnatic, the wild cards out there, banning out the Capitao and the Bandit. And you can see that even forced Reciprocity to shy away from CCTV Cache when it seemed like it would be the most obvious choice. Yeah, they elected to go Gym Bedroom, so clearly Reciprocity having a little bit of experience with these bans possibly, and also the setup again lacking a castle for the defensive Gym Bedroom. Yeah, that's something that's a mainstay, and that's happened for both teams now.
Definitely an odd choice. They're definitely looking to play it maybe a little bit more aggressive with the peaks, or just letting them open things up and kind of coming into them a bit more. Either way, it's definitely going to come down to whether or not they have smart intel, which is, of course, why you've got the Valkyrie, why you've got the Alibi. Alibi actually pretty popular on this bomb site, especially from teams like Mocket, who like to play a lot of that. But that's no surprise coming from Lusty, who's been playing a lot of that anyways.
Well, the problem with Bandit being banned out and the fact that Reciprocity have enjoyed taking a Thatcher every single round, that wall's going to get open.
Oh no, Mark! Why did you jump that in there? Well, you can't smell ban without, or you can't smell Bandit without ban, so.
That is true.
They banned it, right?
Okay.
All right.
I get the joke.
All right, yeah. Let's drive it into the ground.
Yep. You can see Magna playing below, this time with a Nitro Cell instead of a deployable shield. I have a feeling last time that wasn't quite intentional.
To be fair, they won that round.
To be fair, yes. Although he put up the deployable shield with 30 seconds left in the round. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, these alibis are absolutely working out because they're giving Magnet the intel on this push because they can't exactly vault through the window or peek through it pretty much without shooting through that. So he's absolutely, using it to his advantage. Unfortunately, not quite doing enough damage. Retro just taking a bit, about 50% HP. So obviously no reset going to do him any good.
There's a possibility there for Magnet to really give Fnatic an advantage and possibly bring them to leveling things early so they don't have to run back an incredible comeback like they did on Consulate just to push overtime. These windows are still opened up, and it's a strong balcony push so far for Reciprocity as they're angling in and trying to spot out any of the movements from Fnatic, but Fnatic as a whole remaining quite static. Retro will jump in immediately to his grave as it's Virtue holding just outside of the reach and purview of Mark on the inside of this window. Skies has now made his way into construction, but a flank coming as the pings in tandem with the Echo Drone from Aces. Again, down to 35 seconds, not a lot of time remaining. Magnet will chew through Laxing, so quickly a 5v3 to work out of. No diffusers, it's lost inside of Gym. Foxay will trade one out on Magnet, and that's a Nitro Cell removed from play, the only one of the availability of Fnatic, but Sky's still dancing circles around by CCTV. Mark with an immediate bait-out attempt, but now he'll be pinged out multiple times inside of Gym. 15 seconds ticking away against Reciprocity to get this plant down and hold out in a post plant, down a man. Again, an attempt coming out from Mark. The ping's coming out, but nobody really in range to take those shots. Finally, Rizraz with Toxic Babe will shut him down. Last two remaining on the balcony. Skies with the reactionary shot onto Lusty will all be in vain as we draw at 4-4 through round 8 on Clubhouse. Fnatic on the defensive side having a remarkable amount of success so far.
Deja vu again. Although, you know, defense has been working pretty well. And this is, this is what we saw last map as well, is one side seems to do very well. Last map it was attack, this side defense. And that seems to be working out when Fnatic seem to be able to come back every time. With the emotionalness of Reciprocity I was talking about earlier, let's hope this doesn't turn into a frustration fest for them with always being like, oh, we're in the lead and then losing the lead for a while. But at the same time, they won the last map. So that should kind of buffer them a little in terms of, hey, this is their map. If we lose it, we know Villa so well, we can easily close this out, is what they've got to be thinking. But they've got to get through this map first, and they still have the possibility to close it out in a 2-0 if they can just shut down some of the defenders fast enough so they're not planting during 15 seconds.
Well, I like the 6-pick as well, coming out from Magnet. He was originally flashing the castle inside of reveal phase, but he 6-picks over to the Valkyrie. So the castle more indicative of the setup that Reciprocity brought on bar stock. And throwing a little wrench into the plans there will be Fnatic as they head to go CCTV and Cash as opposed to Bar Stock, the only other open objective for them currently. And Magnet really wishing he could get that Valkyrie cam back, because that's...
He wants a refund, but he didn't keep the receipt.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully he only needs 2 important ones. These alibis, I think, definitely contributed last time. We saw a lot of drones hitting them or gunfire hitting them. I mean, putting them in windows on this map in particular seems to be a very popular and very effective strategy.
I think it's more the team they're playing against, because Reciprocity are so frag heavy and they are waiting until the last possible second right now. It's a distractionary measure, and it also reveals, while the alibis aren't crucial information early round, late round, they can be a dagger in the back, considering it's 5 very, very rapid pings onto your exact location while trying to go for a plant execute. The alibis have been working out remarkably. We have another attacker pinged by an alibi hologram again. And
Magnet on this roam again. He's just being really a thorn in the side of Reciprocity all around. They need to shut him down early. It's costing them so much in terms of their, like you said, time management.
Rizraz rocking the iron sights on the Vector, something that's become a little more common lately. I think it was Crusher. Yeah, it was Crusher for EXG, who are now in Pro League, but back in Challenger League when he was on the mirror role, he was rocking the Vector iron sights.
Traditionally, it was only kind of a Bandit that had been doing that, particularly in Eunice doing that quite often. That's become a thing. Yeah, I guess it's just slowly some of the guns with good iron sights will be picked that way. Ooh, nice.
Foxake slowly inching his way in. He's got pressure outside from Mark as well, hitting the alibis, and Oasis wins that battle against Foxake. Beautiful work there from the anchor playing on the rafters. Takes a little bit of damage, but with an ADS and the hologram right in front of him, he's stalling out a long time here.
He needs to stop walking to the hologram, because he's making the hologram disappear, which means the shots that are coming out towards him aren't hitting the hologram, and that means they're not getting marked. If he would actually just step away from it for a second, that would actually give him the opportunity to get tagged, but Ace is picking up Mark. This is again falling apart. Fnatic just continuing potentially this comeback.
Oh, there it is. Retro with a nice shot. Last bullet in the mag too. Has to go for a full reload after, but Magnet downstairs on the roam will trade out Laxing. This mirror's been popped and straying in towards Lounge as well. Trying to connect onto the head of Skies, who's playing underneath the rafter. So they've lost the rafter control, Fnatic have, but they have doubled up on man advantage in a 4v2. Retro trying to solo push with Diffuser in through the breach hole outside of CCTV, and Skies eventually coming in. That's one of the Yokais taken down as well, which is monumental for visibility, but with Aces being dead, he won't be able to stall out the plant. Skeleton Key ripping open the backsides for access into CCTV, and Retro wins out the engagement against Virtue as well, so that's 2 high-power weapons on the defensive side removed from play. Retro again winning out onto Rizraz. Skies trying to buck through into CCTV and into Cash as he rushes through. Retro's still not trying to apply the plant just yet. He'll get up and on desk, and Lusty from in behind will down the Diffuser right beside him. The knife from Skies down to a 1v1. Magnet alone. The alibi pings coming out on the Skies, and he needs to try and get the plant down. He's in the middle of a doorway, for God's sake. All Magnet has to do is come in behind. The MPX will rip into shreds, and Reciprocity lose 3 straight. Fnatic storming back.
Another 4-round-in-a-row comeback, but man, Retro. They might have lost, but still, he's my MVP of that round. He, for a Thermite to just really put in that effort, he tried so hard, and Skies could not cover him on that plant. You know why? Because he spent half the round reloading a Skeleton Key. Every single time he used it. And I understand that. I can't fire a single bullet in this game without constantly feeling the need to reload. So, I mean, I could sympathize, but it certainly cost him time, because while Retro died, guess what he was doing? Reloading the Skeleton Key. We'll see, though, if they can finally bring a round here to bring it to match point. We saw a similar situation in Consulate last time, but this is, again, looking like a dangerous tip towards overtime. But the first map being won by Reciprocity means if they can just win that in overtime, like you said, echoes of DreamHack, and that's all they need to be done. They don't have to play Villa, but if they do, I feel like they're going to be confident doing so. But, again, we don't know what Fnatic have to show on Villa.
Yeah, Fnatic is a real question mark here when it comes to Villa. Should we need the decider map? If this rounds out here on Clubhouse with Reciprocity taking it, should they be able to adapt to their time control issues and be able to flush out some of the roaming presence that Fnatic are bringing?
You gotta imagine though, if you're Fnatic, right, and you've been saving Villa the entire season, the last thing you want to do is have to show it in the very first match. So even if they did, even if they win that, they've shown their Villa strat, and they no longer have that pocket strat going forward.
Well, the real question is, have they been saving it, or do they hate it, and it was just what was left, so they left the decider? We can't tell. We can't tell, and we'd probably have to ask them. I don't even know if they'd give us a straight answer.
We'll probably see soon the way things are going.
Yeah, if we do end up on Villa, it'll probably be evident very soon because Reciprocity's prowess on Villa. I wouldn't be at all shocked to see them really storming through and picking up a lot of rounds early on. But this time the Jackal from Mark. Let's do some good in repelling Magnet's roam game.
Hanging between Jackal and Alibi. It's almost like Lions playing.
Informational game goes back and forth on either side. So these wooden barricades, there's no one really around them, so Mark's just sending ammunition by the wayside. Spots Magnet's feet once again, and Magnet's already retreated all the way back to Church as he'll hold out, and again it seems like it's a double push.
I like that he identifies the colors, decides, hey, I've already pinged Valkyrie, I'm going to look for the other footprints, instead catches Alibi. That's good Jackal play right there. And again, the role's kind of switching up, so nice catch on the mute jammer as well, which is something that is actually very annoying for Jackal players. But in the meantime, because of all that, making a lot of noise, Magnet's actually sneaking up on him. Mark's drone, who would catch him there, gets shot, and then they retreat back down safely. But Sky's in the meantime picking up Lusty, who is again trying to play that kind of overly aggressive Alibi. But Rizraz on the trade.
Rizraz pushing up blue stairs on the way back down. We'll trade out Skies, who's died early once again. Kind of a common theme for him as he had a hot start on the defensive side of Clubhouse, but hasn't really been much of a factor so far on the attacking side. Fnatic trying to hold out and secure a match point possibility, as it'll be 6-4 if they come away with the round. And again, Reciprocity lower on time, but they're at least popping open hatches with a minute remaining and looking to angle in towards the site execute quickly. The stock hatch not being reinforced, even though that Reciprocity brought both breachers available to us as Maverick is banned. Could have been some more time on the side of Fnatic had that been reinforced.
So a lot of intel play coming out here at the very end of the round. Defenders trying to check every angle they can. Attackers pretty low on drones. Mark's still trying to use that second drone after the first one getting shot. Thankfully, at least he had that. But this is coming down to the wire again. It's just Reciprocity cannot execute any faster than Fnatic did. Despite all the droning, this is looking like, again, a dead end.
Laxton comes off the angle as the man playing K9 appeared to be aces, and he'll be holding Pat as the thermite charge will come out onto Church Wall, and just ducking under the purview of Laxing is the man in blue from Fnatic. Smokes come raining in, flashbangs in turn from the attacking side. The Claymore sent at the breach hole, but Retro has been down and finished off by Virtue, laying in wait inside of Church. The plant being attempted now by Laxing. The cover in the hallway successful by Mark, hitting another alibi. The plant is still being completed 1 second away, and it will get down. A 3v3 post plant for Reciprocity to work out. Laying down in the middle of the hallway. Virtue on the repeat will win that under to Mark, but Magnet had fallen off screen. Laxing takes down aces. It's all down to Virtue now in a 1v2. The Jaeger to give themselves the map point advantage, peeking over the bar. Laxing takes a lot of damage, but it isn't the finishing blow that Virtue needs. And he's now down to about 10 HP. One shot from either rifle holding Pat, and Laxing at the bottom of the main stairs will close it out. Reciprocity will tie things up and won't let Fnatic run away with it. It's 5-5.
Well done by Reciprocity, managing to pull off that plant. That's the important thing is Laxing immediately jumped on that diffuser, got in a position to try and defend, like to just stick that ASAP, because the thing is, with the diffuser plant, you do not want to be in a situation where you're planting it at 0-0 because you cannot get off of it. So the sooner you can at least try and stick it down, you can either bait utility out or at least get a second chance at it if you have to get off of it and get a kill. Virtue was in a good position, tried to play it smart, but just the 2v1 situation there, he couldn't do much about it. But it was great coverage from the rest of Reciprocity because they covered that plant so well. I mean, the guy in blue just could not push his way out. And it's interesting because originally Laxing was the one covering the guy in blue, but because Laxing had to go for the plant, someone else had to cover it. Mark doing a great job covering his teammate. Virtue, though, again at 13. We were talking about it being at 13 on Consulate. He's still showing up. I mean, yeah, he couldn't clutch that round out. Still doing a great job. But nonetheless, not necessarily showing up as the best player in APAC like we've heard, but still showing up as a standout player. And I got to say, it's a bummer for Neo, but Virtue is absolutely taking his place very well.
Seen that happen with a number of different teams. People come in as stand-ins, and then eventually the team just likes to stand in better. Like we saw that with Shuttle.
Yeah.
Yep, Shuttle at Atlantic City. Kanto with Penta and now G2. It's been done a couple times where, you know, a standing comes in because they're needed in a pinch.
What better trial? Forget a scrim. You try them out in a real, you know,
LAN final
it's just
of some capacity.
Something that you can really test their mettle as a team and see how they communicate under pressure.
Well, it's Team Reciprocity. 2 rounds being victorious, anyway, away from sending themselves to the winner's bracket game, and 1 game away from being into the quarterfinals of the Invitational. Fnatic have 2 losses at their disposal as far as rounds are concerned before they get knocked down to the loser's bracket to play NIP, who lost the game earlier against FaZe. Fnatic, however, with 2 chances currently to send this to Villa. We'll head to overtime on Clubhouse, where the coin flip most likely will dictate the outcome of the game.
Yeah, it's definitely looking like that. Magnet again playing his roaming Valkyrie. This is going to be for gym defense, yet he's still downstairs. This has got to be predictable by now, though. He is continuing to play this downstairs roam whenever they're playing upstairs on defense. This is not something you necessarily want to spend a lot of time on, though. Spending time trying to get Magnet is honestly more problematic than just letting him live, just because time management for Reciprocity being so low. Skies, though, bringing out the IQ, something we haven't seen a lot from him, actually could be favorable in at least catching out the Yokais, which is, that will definitely help with time management, is knowing what you're going to have to deal with in the execute situation. These alibis, though, continuing to be problematic, and there's the impact trick. Doing some work against Fox's ex-Kairos. It's a nice job by him, but now he's getting droned out. They know what's going on here. 2 drones, you don't want to lose both of them there. They're over-pushing this. They need to actually do something with that information, or they're sacrificing 2 drones for nothing and just kind of, you know, just taunting Lusty at this point.
Well, look at the 3-man stack inside of CCTV. Now a 4th man will come in and join it, and Magnet is able to collect 1 onto Retro. He's able to tag Fox A once as well. Now the 2 of them will battle out together. A Nitro Cell will land. Errant not connect on a target. You got pinches coming from the windows and the doorways. The Skies moves his way in, but Magnet will win out again on a Fox A, going huge and has diffuser control. Pinch between a rock and a hard place now with Skies. Mark will collect Virtue, peeking the window. Magnet for 3 now. Going for more as Skies will take down Lusty. Turning the corner and detected by the alibi. Right up against the wall, unable to spot the foot as he's hit the deck. A push in now from Rizraz to support Magnet, and now sight control for Laxing, but no diffuser and no teammates. Nothing to do with 30 seconds. He's got a man hiding inside of logistics as well on his backside. There's a Yokai watching him too. I believe this is Aces just on the floor watching his Yokais, waiting for him to turn, laying prone underneath the desk. Laxing not checking his corners entirely, and Aces will win it out. Fnatic put themselves on a match point for map number 2, looking to send us to Villa in a heartbeat.
Well, now best situation for Reciprocity is take it to that overtime where they do so well. But man, that was a... I mean, I take back what I said about letting Magnet live. That seemed to be a big problem for them, actually, because he came up, got that 3K, really denied that plant. Tough situation to be in. And again, those alibis being such a thorn, he saw Skies getting continually pinged. That just made it impossible for him to really do much. Obviously couldn't vault through that hole in the reinforced wall to try and get that. It's really being problematic, and unfortunately, neither team seems to really have a good strategy to deal with those alibis. And Lusty pretty much, I mean, he just auto-picks that role at this point. It's working out decently for him, and not necessarily in terms of him getting frags. He's very rarely getting a lot of kills, not necessarily being a huge impact player himself, but the prismas that he's leaving around, much like the goo mines coming out of Legion, those are just being a continual thorn, you know, similar to a goo mine. Cash, though, we'll see if they can win that again. So far, they've been able to win all of their defensive sites. They've only lost Church once, and that was due to a very good push there and execute by Laxing on a plant. But it's seeming like they just can't repeat that. And of course, when they banned Bandit, they were planning their own defenses for how they were going to defend Cash, and it seems to be working because they have successfully defended it before. So they are prepared for this.
Last time around on this defense, it was Aces up in the rafters that was really dominating control, picking up 2 kills of his own, wasting 2 minutes, baiting in a lot of utility as well, like frag grenades, stun grenades to burn out the ADSs. It was Aces being the real superstar of the round last time. I'm interested to see if there will be a different approach, because now there are no frag grenades being brought from Reciprocity, and with no Capitao as well to dispel anyone from getting off those rafters, which, leading back to our original conversation, I can't believe I forgot about. Capitao, why would you ban it? Because you got to push rafters. You're an idiot, Flynn. Learn how to be a good caster. 6-5 advantage right now, and Magnet is, hey, bud.
Hey.
You know.
Hey, bud. He's just working his way over. He's just, you know what?
So,
he's not leaving any footprints for Jackal.
I feel like that doesn't work, but okay.
No, it does. And that's exactly what he's doing. Yeah, he is denying footprints.
Just put your chest on the ground and drag yourself across. No footprints.
No, that's so smart because Magnet has continued to be a thrown in a pain. And last time Jackal was tracking him, that kind of forced him to be a little bit less effective. He is now in a stealth position. Yeah, he's left footprints other places, but no one's going to be expecting this now.
Well, inside of changing room hallway, outside of strip, and he's looking for the peaks on anyone peeking this partially destroyed reinforced wall on the garage. He's bouncing back and forth, just straddling the line between detected and safety, waiting for a peek.
This is such a play right now. He just needs to hit those shots. MBX does so little damage if you're at that distance. If you're not hitting the head, though, he's got to hit the head. Either way, though, he's left alive in there, and a lot of those footprints might have worn off. Mark, though, picking up aces early, does the Yokai's down. Again, though, the Alibi's tracking, and Rizraz trading on Disguise.
So, Rafters control taken in a storm by Reciprocity, but two members of the attacking side will fall, and it's a 3v4 for Rec to work their way out of to keep themselves on map number 2. Fnatic come away with this round. We go to Villa. Drones coming in from Mark down below as it's Foxay who's still outside of garage towards the main door. You've still got roamers downstairs for Fnatic. Magnet has made his way in towards, I believe that was Bar, and Lusty was inside of Stock. Got a two-man hold topside and two men down below. Magnet with a Nitro Cell from below too could be devastating. Lusty's made his way over to Master now as he's holding for the backside push from Construction, and Reciprocity in a bad spot here. X-Kairo's coming out onto that construction wall from Foxay as it'll pop open a little peek angle in towards Cash. But playing that island stoically will be Rizraz in behind and with a Nitro Cell waiting in hand. And you can see Lusty getting ready for this jump. Flashbangs come flying in from Foxay. All he needs is the call. Retro is putting down the diffuser though. Vault out here and he's just a second too late as Foxay is gone. Magnet with the Nitro Cell will stop the plant in its tracks though. And Retro will be down. Jumping in his Foxay to keep themselves alive on Clubhouse. Grabs one under Rizraz. Whipping out the bearing, but there's no chance. Fnatic wrap it up and we'll take map number 2 on Clubhouse. 7-5. We go to Villa.
What a phenomenal series of rounds there from Fnatic, just shutting down consistently what they're able to pull off. And a lot of that, again, down to Magnet. And I'm not discrediting the rest of the players. They're all doing a fantastic job as well. But just his ability to continue to stay alive, be a thorn, open doors, get C4 kills. It's just, they cannot deal with him. Even when they're bringing the Jackal to deal with him, he goes, you know what, I'll just crawl my way across the bar and just leave nothing for you guys to work with. You saw Lusty even setting up for his jump out. It wasn't effective, but it's just the fact that they're able to do that.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, that got close, though. The diffuser did get close to being planted. Magnet managing to save that. But overall, that was, I mean, in some ways the outcome we were expecting because that was Fnatic's map. Both teams winning their maps, but it did get a lot closer. And in a way, this does slightly favor Fnatic because if you look at the score lines on each team's map, Reciprocity had to go through much more of a struggle score-wise to win their own map, whereas Fnatic won their map without going to overtime. So, but Villa, it's the big unknown here.
Yeah, Villa is the big question mark. When we talk about Villa, we're going to take a look at the replays from map number 2 on Clubhouse between Fnatic and Reciprocity. We're still on this game. I believe the A stream is already ripping through the second match, so looks like we're going to have a long day here on the B stream. But Villa is the question mark right now because the question remains, does Fnatic hate Villa and they didn't think they'd get to this point, or have they been saving Villa and this is going to be just fireworks nonstop?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely going to be interesting. I think it's down to who can adapt the fastest. And while I feel like Reciprocity adapted very quickly on Consulate, they didn't seem to adapt to what Fnatic were doing on Clubhouse. And again, they don't seem to be able to adapt to just the Magnet in general. And I think that's being a big problem where it's like everyone on Reciprocity is someone that they have to contend with. That's a big problem. Whereas just Magnet alone, being able to do what he was as he runs past there, probably going to a bathroom break. Yeah, he's still roaming even in here. But I don't know, and I worry about that for Reciprocity on Villa if they cannot adapt to that, and if they have a lot of secrets in store that they haven't shown. maybe Reciprocity are going to have an unexpected fight because they're going to be going in a bit confident that they know that map well, that it's a good map for them. But if Reciprocity are playing just such a different meta than they're expecting because it's such a far-off region, maybe it'll catch them by surprise. But if they're ready to adapt to that, if they're not overconfident, I still think it goes Reciprocity's way.
I'm surprised with the amount of smoke takes that Reciprocity are offering and bringing over and over and over
again. It's consistently the style they bring. Consulate really highlights that.
But they've only tried the Glass, I think, twice on the Consulate, and then after that, they've just completely abandoned the Glass, and it hasn't been banned out on either map. So,
I mean, Glass
interesting decisions.
It's just not big in NA. Period. It's not a big operator for NA. I mean, they'll ban it quite often, despite it not necessarily being a big operator. And it surprises me. So far, we haven't even actually seen any Montane bans, and they've been so prevalent the first half of the Pro League season. So it's interesting to see the meta a little bit different here in terms of that. But I mean, overall, Reciprocity mostly bringing what they tend to bring during Pro League. They're not bringing something all that different, and maybe that's working out a little bit in Fnatic's favor because they can look at those VODs. Maybe they're not seeing the exact same strategies, but a lot of the operator roles are the same that they're playing, and because of that, they can kind of predict a little bit better how they're going to be playing. And I can't necessarily say the same for Reciprocity being able to do that to Fnatic.
Yeah, and time management has been the key for both of these teams and been the issue for both of these teams on both maps. Really, on the attacking side, time management just, it's kicking them right now.
Maybe honestly, they need a strong Ashe player on Reciprocity to just get in there and pile drive.
They've got like 4 of them.
Yeah, but it's
someone pick up Ashe and go for a run.
Honestly, they just usually don't. That's not something we commonly see from them, whereas we absolutely saw that from Virtue coming out on Consulate, and it worked out well for them. When he was able to stay alive, he was able to get map control somewhat quickly, and those were rounds that were very beneficial to them on attack. So Reciprocity, maybe you just need to bring out that Ashe rush.
Maybe, because there needs to be a catalyst for both of these teams. There's got to be some point in the round where they flip a switch and go, we're going now. And that can't be 5 seconds left in the round again, because that was happening way too often.
They actually managed to pull off some plants in those situations, but yeah, overall it was just like they would start to go for the plant, and guess what? You got so little time left, they're just going to peek you and get the kill on you, and because they know what you're doing at that point. That's the problem with time management, is you become predictable, you become desperate, and easily countered at that point. So.
Yeah, we're just we're waiting for things to get back underway. Everyone's going for a bio break, like we said. Magnet was running right by us, so got a little bit of time to blow off some steam here, I guess, kill some time, and wait for map number 3, Villa. You know, we talked about DreamHack Montreal a couple times on Clubhouse there, and DreamHack Montreal obviously is where Reciprocity minus Skies and plus Goddess back then qualified for this entire event, and they went on a magical run, and I think every single game except for one of them they had Villa in the pool, whether they played it or not. And like you said, they were also one of the first teams. It was them and I think Obey at the time that played Villa.
I think it was them versus Noble, because it was like
it was
like that sort of the first match, I think, between the two teams that had just come in from Challenger League, playing on that map first, and that was an interesting debut for Villa in North America. So
well, it just goes to show, like, the storied history for Reciprocity on Villa actually has quite a few good cliff notes in there and highlighted points.
I believe they even rematched on it later too.
I think they did, yeah.
So.
But in stark contrast to Fnatic, who, like we've said multiple times now, we don't have VODs on Fnatic on Villa. We don't have tape on them. We don't have results even for them on Villa. They do not play Villa. And this is, like I said, if Fnatic have been saving this, if this is like the strap bust out moment for them where it's do or die, because even in group stage day 1, you do not want to lose that first matchup and have your backs against the wall.
This is not a casual tournament where you can save stuff for, I'm saving it for the finals.
No.
You kind of got to come out like with everything.
Everything you got, every single game.
I mean, it's kind of funny on the topic of Villa, because you have the situation where G2 got 6-0'd on Villa.
Yeah.
And then came back against EG later in the finals. I believe it was in Paris, and then 6-0'd. EG. So it was like a situation where, I mean, whether they did it intentionally or not, they didn't show their Villa strat. They lost that map, but they were able to then move forward still despite that and bring it back again later. Whereas Fnatic are not in that situation. If they lose Villa, they just get dropped to the loser's bracket and they have to work their way back up. So they've got to show whatever Villa they have now, because they could not close out Consulate in their favor.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to get underway for map number 3 between Fnatic and Team Reciprocity. It's a 1-1 map scoreline, 8-6 for Reciprocity on Consulate, 7-5 for Fnatic on Clubhouse. We now head to the third and final map of this best of 3 on Villa. And it will be Reciprocity attacking first with Fnatic defending first, and Fnatic is sick of it with the Jackal.
They went straight for that. That is going for the throat, because that is an operator they definitely use on this map because they want to control roam play as much as possible, saves them from having to do a lot of roam clear. They could focus more on execute. That is, again, going to hurt their time management. So that's a great pick there. This is an operator that obviously Reciprocity don't want to deal with as well, so they're going to take out the Dokkaebi. Question is, what's going to be their knockout here on this defense side? Mira, okay, that makes sense. They have definitely not been too interested in dealing with Mira in the past. So we'll see if that factors into attacks on Aviator Games specifically. Now we're also going to see the lack of Echo, which means Maestro going to get tons of play here. Of course, this is his map that he made his debut on. Very strong on this map, so it makes sense.
Just getting questions about the double up of the hoodie.
Yeah.
I had to go for a wardrobe change. That's all it is. Don't read into it.
You're just too hood here.
Yep. Hey, the hoodie on top of the hoodie. Villa, round number 1. Aviator and Games Room defense, and wow, I feel like that's a 6-pick.
I don't know. You know, like, this is definitely a bomb site. We've seen teams play that, especially on 90. Gotcha, for example, doing that on EG. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, now that they can play the Capitao, it's going to come back out again from Laxing. They're going to have to deal with, of course, not being able to track anyone with the Jackal, though. So that means roams from Magnet could be a bit more problem. Now he's going to probably 6-pick over. Oh, yeah, he's going full roam. He's like, I've been able to get away with roaming on both maps. Let's double down on that.
I was going to say, the Capitao, the Zoe, you see both of those in reveal phase, you get off Clash ASAP.
Well, I mean, and now it's both the Brazilian operators being played, so.
Capitao makes his return in this best of 3. Magnet to the Caveira. And the last time I casted a game on Villa, when there was a Caveira, we ended up with quite the remarkable interrogation clip.
Yeah, there's definitely been a lot more plays from Caveira in the recent history. Seems to be something that more teams are comfortable doing. Also, roam and aggressive defense have become more in meta, so that just gives more opportunity for that to be something that people can get away with.
So Rizraz filling in on where Magnet was playing on the Valkyrie most recently. And
5 seconds.
Seems like he'll be starting over towards Astronomy.
Yeah, we'll see where he's going to move from, because I got to imagine he's going to go downstairs and make sure that they're not able to track him without that Jackal, but I don't know. Sky's already pummeling through the window, trying to get some work done here. Send up Claymore. He's not going to be going to entry frag potentially, but it's interesting to see that he's still going to be bringing out that Zofia again. Something like you mentioned we hadn't seen a ton of, but it is going to be useful for this particular bomb site. Magnet still upstairs, but he is creeping around. He just really wants to hold this side of the map, which is the far side, to make sure that his teammates are covered a little bit better. But now he's got a hatch to drop down, and he's going to do so. Go all the way down to the basement potential. Nope. He's going to sneak around. Now, of course, the funny thing is that they don't actually have to ban the Jackal, because the Caveira is the one counter to Jackal either way.
Yeah, the Silent Step not revealing any of the footprints. So the Valkyrie cameras spewing across the map to try and provide some intel for Magnet to be able to shape his flank, as it will be necessary for him to come in surprise from behind onto one of the members of Team Reciprocity entering the building, and that's also a factor that has not come to fruition yet for Reciprocity. Now, a lot of people inside the building. You got the Capitao of Laxing holding flank, and Magnet down to about 10 HP as he rips all the way back upstairs, and I imagine he'll be going in for a reset real quick.
Yeah, he definitely has the opportunity to do so with 1.5 minutes left, but it is risky to do it if pressure is coming onto the site. We'll see if Lusty's goo mines as well can kind of help hold things and slow things off a little bit. But a lot of droning coming out. You see drones coming out from Mark and Fox. A lot of position being held here, though. And actually, Magnet doesn't rotate off of it, just takes the drone and holds it, because he's also got his teammate Rizraz on the move now, who was, I believe, covered from that drone because he killed it fast enough.
Still playing at the top of those stairs, waiting for anyone to make their quick entry, but it looks like Reciprocity have their stack in mind, as there's all 5 members pushing in from Study in the top of the south stairs. An impact trick, a little too late, a little too short. not going to connect as the second set of X-Kairos will detonate onto the wall, affording them a crouch-through hole, and a third set being placed directly above for a walkthrough. Smoke's coming in, asphyxiating bolts, toxic babes, just every disruption, utility imaginable being sent at this one set of breach holes, and they botch the pellet, so they can't sprint through it. They're gonna have to crouch through it and take their time slowly. You still have Magnet who can come in on a flank at any time, and there he goes downstairs. Flashbangs come raining in. The smokes into the vault. Retro will take down Rizraz, though. That's the Valkyrie and a Nitro Cell gone, and there goes Foxy knifing down. It's a flurry of kills for Reciprocity. One for Lusty will down off the man with the diffuser, though. That's Mark, and they've got to recover it. 15 seconds left. Lusty's still tacking on. The diffuser is still bleeding out. It's Lusty alone in a 1v3. No recovery of the diffuser just yet for Reciprocity. They're trying to go for the kill, pushing it against the bar. Lusty for another one, trying to clutch it up. They're trying to stick the revive. What are you doing? The play at the last man alive. He has to push. Lusty, the 1v5 clutch. Fnatic take round number 1 on Villa.
What a defense. The moment they downed Mark, that's the moment they won that round. As soon as they stopped that play, there was such a good execute too. They had the smokes the right place, they had the fire, they made sure to stop everything, they opened it up, they were ready to go for that plant. It was called. As soon as Mark got dropped, everything fell apart. And fighting a man behind that bar is so hard. Lusty just demonstrated why. It is so hard to get someone out from behind there. But it means they can't play that side again, and we go to trophy.
It all starts with Lusty downing Mark as he tried to rush in. That's an incredible series of events where Reciprocity all push Lusty behind that bar one by one. And Magnet again 6-picking to the Cav. Looks like this wants to be a mainstay operator for him instead of a surprising one.
Well, he's still 6th-pick to it, so he didn't give it away, but I think they're going to figure it out pretty quick that he's consistently doing that from now. I mean, it was helpful. He was able to kind of roam around like he was doing with Valkyrie on Clubhouse. So to be fair, he's either doing it with Ella on Consulate, Valkyrie on Clubhouse, or Caveira on Villa. It seems to be he's able to get away with it no matter which one he wants to pick, and it's just down to preference, I guess, per map it seems. Either way, he does like those shotguns.
Making a maze of rotations on the far side as he's got some reinforcements on his aviator walls as well. Looking in towards that studied balcony, and pretty standard trophy setup for the most part. You got the Evil Eyes cutting off visibility, or catching visibility, starting in towards the crucial rotation points, such as the master doorway in the bathroom, in towards astronomy stairs as well. Reciprocity, 5-man push through one direction last time. There wasn't really that solo entity for Reciprocity like we've been seeing on a lot of their attacks. This time around, it was all 5 push one direction, and it came down to Lusty, a T5, a pistol, and a little bit of luck on this side as far as placement of some asphyxiating bolts.
Yeah, they just needed to cover Mark better is what it came down to. It was a great execute. Otherwise, it's just they could not cover him adequately, and I mean, they're going to have to cover well for a plant on this side as well, because you're exposed to a lot of angles potentially when you're, depending on where you go for plant with this, because of the open nature of both sides of the site. Lusty going for setting up as many good mines as he can to try and cover a lot of different approaches. I mean, Legion is such a flexible and useful operator for a lot of these maps, specifically because he can make sure that at least you know where the approach is coming from, because the top floor especially has a lot of different approaches that can really be a problem for you if you're not expecting someone to come there. And that's kind of Magnet's job. So like Magnet plus the goo mines means flanks are going to be difficult for Reciprocity.
Well, early bathroom control here for Skies and Laxing as they push through and drop Claymore for safety. And I guess they're expecting Fnatic to get a little wild here on Villa, and they'll asphyxiating bolt off the rotation up the astronomy stairs, but they're not pushing through with it just yet. The Toxic Babe and reciprocation from Virtue will hold them off at bay, and Foxay will be interrogated. It is an interrogation for Magnet.
Boy.
Foxay downstairs will get interrogated by Magnet as it was just off screen, and Retro, I think this is just outside on the balcony, so he won't be within range of those impacts.
So close.
Just outside on the balcony, outside the window. So another stall tactic here for Fnatic, pulling out the interrogation will reset Reciprocity on their initial incursion into Master.
Man, Magnet, what a problem still. You just need to kill this man early, and the fact that they don't have anything to track him. I mean, they banned their own Dokkaebi. Honestly, that Dokkaebi could have really worked out in their favor. Smokes coming out, though, to set up potentially for an execute or at least to rotate, as Rizraz actually holding a nice tight angle right towards the hole. Again, this is stalling out, 35 seconds left, and one smoke does not lead to a plant.
30 seconds ticking away now, and you can see they're aware of Raz's position. Ooh, a double kill coming out for Reciprocity. Laxing and Retro grab one apiece, and now the man advantage equalizes as Aces will take down Retro, trying to push through the rotate as Skies, who's on 1 HP at the rotate, jumping straight in front of Rizraz. He's going to get 2 of them, trying to go for 3. Skies wins it out on 1 HP, putting down the diffuser. All Magnet has to do is turn the corner on the deployable shield. Oh, he hears him. Sky stands up, but he's killing the time back and forth. All it takes is 1 bullet, and he'll down him off. Magnet, will he go for 2? No, he'll only get 1 interrogation, but he cleans it up with the shotgun. Hits him with a little bag beforehand as well, and Fnatic up 2-0 on Villa.
Like I said, they just need to do something about him. He's such a problem. But that play, as they just fly into the room, going for the kills, just no one from Reciprocity with enough intel to actually make their attacks count. They're just continually being denied their ability to get into the room and actually get the kills. And it's working out so well for Fnatic, who are able to play slightly flexible, but also staying pretty close to site. You're not seeing a lot of super off-site outside of Magnet. And even when he went super off-site, able to return. Laxing, selecting Twitch, probably going to 6th pick over to that Ying. Magnet again teasing the cap can, probably going to 6th pick as well. Laxing did want to hide the Ying at least.
Ooh, he's having fun on the Cav.
Well,
Magnet is not getting off.
I mean, he got that interrogation off. I cannot blame him.
Interrogation and a 1v1 clutch.
Yeah.
He's having fun on the Cav.
This is definitely a more difficult bomb site, though. This could be the one where we finally see Reciprocity take a point. But to be fair, Reciprocity have had a lead most of the time, and this is the first time they're actually looking pretty deep. And this is, again, the map where we expect the Reciprocity to have the advantage, but it's just Magnet being able to do whatever he wants is so working out for Fnatic.
So, after 2 successful defensive rounds consecutively for Fnatic, they will be forced to head down to the bottom floor. And they elect to head to Kitchen. But they do have quite the top hold investment coming out so far. You got Rizraz reinforcements on that statuary wall. The castle barricades 2 of them. Elected to be put topside, and looks like he'll be doing a 3rd one as well on the double barricade in towards Trophy Room. So, lots of investment topside for the control, and that's a little... It's a little peculiar to me, simply because of Magnet. Don't you want to kind of bait them into that top control and come for that flank as the Caveira instead of hard holding up there and separating your manpower?
I mean, it just comes down to good calls from his teammates, so he knows where the attackers are, and then he can rotate around freely as he wants to. Obviously, they've got the Evil Eyes, but you got to keep in mind, they have a lot of intel. They have Evil Eyes, they have Goo Mines, they have Pulse. So that gives Magnet so much to work with whatever he wants to do, not to mention maybe he gets an interrogation out of it. Now they've got intel on everyone at that point. So this can really work out for them. Again, because the intel doesn't seem to be working out for Reciprocity, their drones not getting in. I think they're just getting denied so many drones and just not managing their drone economy well, to the point where when they go for an execute, they don't know enough about the positioning of the defenders to actually execute efficiently in pre-fire. And the lack of pre-fires, you saw them as they poured into the room last time, really cost them.
Well, Magnet utilizing his Spaz 15 shotgun to open up complete visibility into the tarp room just outside of the objective, and that's where Skies was debating going back and forth between either the walk-in closet on the interior downstairs or to try and go in through tarps, and drones coming out repeatedly onto Virtue, that Pulse player, holding inside of dining room. Cardiac sensor will pick up 2 outside and 1 carrying the diffuser. Asphyxiating bolts come out topside, and Magnet losing a lot of health upstairs. Caught in engagement once again. He's going to rotate all the way down into tarps now and push his way into the closet. I guess you could call it Harry Potter right by the stair holes.
No, not the Harry Potters.
Not the Harry Potter.
Well, Virtue doing a good job of staying alive. He's calling up for teammate. Magnet did take a lot of damage, but he's still alive, and that's really the problem. It is still a 5v5 though, but C4 going to change that quickly, as there goes Retro. Now they've lost their Thatcher, which is surprisingly not being played by Laxing for once. But Magnet is continuing to control this tarp room. He is just sticking around. He's got so many angles to work with, and that pistol, while it has been changed in terms of the way it works, he's been using it very effectively nonetheless, and he's got the Spaz 15 for close range. Fox, though, unfortunately, just not finding the holes he needed, but there goes Magnet finally. Sky's doing the work to get him killed, but gets traded immediately by Aces.
Good work here for Fnatic to battle back, and you see it's Foxay just completely removing every single floorboard above. Virtue with another kill, though, onto Mark, and now 2 low HP attackers remaining. Fox dropping down the Assassin's Creed kill onto Rizraz, but laying prone is Lusty, and they'll both pick up kills as they trade. out the Virtue for Lusty. So 3 rounds consecutively for Fnatic on Villa.
Yeah.
Do or die here to send themselves to the winner's bracket.
Yeah, and that sends it straight into a timeout from Reciprocity, and also it sounds like we may have to rehost for a sound issue. So this is definitely going to be an extra timeout, extra long timeout here, as it looks like they're sorting it out with the refs there, trying to make sure they can fix what's going on. Looks like it might have been Virtue that has the sound issue here. But either way, going to take a second to go ahead and rehost everything. Potentially, we'll see if people start dropping out here. It looks like we have one dropout already. It might just be just him restarting though. If it's not a general, there are a couple of different sound bugs, but it sounds like the sound bug is just specifically with Virtue, so he'll restart potentially. Maybe just the game, not his whole computer, and we don't have to rehost. So I guess good timing with the tactical timeout.
It's usually just the game when it's the sound bug.
Thankfully, I mean, there are some things that can come up with Zofia or Echo that can affect everyone. So luckily, it doesn't seem like that's been a problem so far, despite Zofia now actually starting to be played. Echo, though, being banned, that is not going to happen in this map.
Well, that's the thing. We've also seen a surprising lack of Jaeger so far on Villa, and yet Zofia's pick has increased over the maps that we've gone through, and yet Jaeger's pick rate on at least Villa here.
It hasn't seemed to made a difference in their win rate from Fnatic, though.
No, they're having a very fun time. Magnet initially flashing the Clash right now as we round out the rest of this timeout and tech issue timeout. So a tactical timeout and a technical timeout.
Yeah.
But we are back underway. Magnet flashing the Clash. And Laxing pulling out the Ash.
The Clash and the Ash. Who's going to 6th pick? He has not confirmed yet, so Laxing considering 6th picking.
4 straight rounds for Magnet on Cav.
I don't blame him at this point. I mean, he did finally get taken down last time, but Laxing was definitely considering 6th picking. You saw how long it took him to confirm, although he might have also been tweaking his loadout because he has not played Ash yet. He might have had a slightly different loadout than he was expecting. So that was more likely than him considering 6th pick, I suppose, at that point. Mark, though, with 0 so far, not really doing as well as we would hope. But you never know. We'll see how things obviously
switch 3 rounds in, and he's the support player.
Absolutely.
For most of the time, unless
I don't buy the support player excuse, but he's proven he can play well as a support player. So it's more just the case of he hasn't seemed to find his groove on this particular map just yet. Lusty's still doing what he wants, though, on this Legion. Seems to be effective for them as well. I mean, they haven't really needed to change up what they're doing on their defense pretty much at all. It seems like the attack's just continuing to be thwarted. Some of it time management, but also some of it just the roaming capability, able to continue to deny map control for Reciprocity. Because when you don't have map control, that itself leads to denial of time, which means you can't execute till you feel comfortable. So.
It also looks like Reciprocity right now are stacking. Ooh, good spot there from Laxing onto the Valk cam that Rizraz had thrown out.
Maybe this will be his round to just Ash Rush.
Maybe, because it looks like Reciprocity are mirroring the last time they attempted to take this site, which was that stack in towards Study, the Study balcony on top of the south stairs.
Watch for the blast!
It didn't really work out for them so well last time because they didn't cover Mark when he ran in for that plant, and that was kind of the downfall last time.
And it looks like the way Laxing might have done it, he might have actually taken out if there was an Evil Eye on that corner of 90. So if you're wondering what he was doing, it looks like that was most likely what he was doing. He was trying to take out any Evil Eye up there. And I like that angle to do so. That's a nice way to approach it because Mag did set up that hatch most likely for himself to drop, and it actually got used against him. But look how antsy this man is. He wants to get in a fight right now. Just someone peek me.
Yeah, and it's really going to come down to the flanks, and you've got Laxing repelled on the 90 window right now up against Louison.
Lax versus Magnet. Here it comes down.
Well, the problem is it won't even down Laxing. It'll just straight up kill him if it's a headshot because it can repel.
Oh, the missed shots there from Magnet. That's going to give
lights him up, though.
Yeah.
30 HP remaining on Laxing. Close range against that Louison, but here come the pre-fires coming out from Retro at the end of the hallway, top of the stairs, just QEing back and forth. Retro will get downed all the way down the long hall, and Magnet will claim another victim with that Louison instead of the knife this time. Retro will fall, Laxing on low HP. It's another poor start for Reciprocity in the round.
Well, they are going to open up at least that bit of furniture, so he's not going to be able to use that completely for cover now, but nonetheless, they cannot seem to push him out of this corner no matter how much utility they use. And again, this right here is costing them this round.
Lots of utility being used to try and stall out. Frag grenade going flying into the vault will down off Aces, but not before he's able to pick up the kill onto Laxing. A second frag grenade being launched in, and the second attempt at a revive.
Maybe they need that Jaeger.
Probably need a Jaeger now, as Foxy will clean up aces. It's still a 3v4 for Rec to work their way out of, and you still got Lusty in behind his trusty bar. And this breach hole hasn't been opened up entirely for them to walk through, and Mark is out of X-Cairo, so they're going to have to all push the same doorway, as it'll be Mark breaching first and falling immediately at the hands of Virtue. No re-peek yet as Foxy comes in to recover the diffuser, but he walks right into the waiting arms of Rizraz. It's all skies alone now in a 1v4. Tags Magnet once, but he'll turn back his attention towards Study and moving towards the Aviator door, the same crossfire that everyone on Fnatic had set up and where a majority of the Reciprocity attackers had died previously. It's all but lost here for Skies, and it'll be an 0-4 scoreline for Reciprocity. Unable to even clean up the kill onto the Caveira as they rush in, and Skies will actually get down, so no one cleaning up the final kill. But it's Fnatic on a run right now, unstoppable momentum on Villa, up 4-0.
Okay, well, I'm leaning towards saving Villa strats, not.
Yeah, I don't think Fnatic hates Villa right now.
Yeah, I think they're big fans of Villa at the moment.
I think they're having some fun.
Well, we'll see if they can continue their reign of terror. It's certainly working out for them.
It is on the defensive side. That is something to note on Villa. It does trend, like the majority of the game right now at the highest level trends defensive, and Villa is one of those proponents of skewing the number further towards the defensive side.
Yeah.
So it is on the defensive side.
I guess the exception we had to that was Consulate, though.
Yeah, Consulate was the weird attacking favored one earlier on today. Fnatic are still... They're still doing really well.
I like the Magnet now is 6th picking off the Caveira instead. I think it's pretty obvious like that you're 6th picking probably because I don't know. I mean, this.
Why flash it unless you're going to bring it?
But I don't know. There's the double mind games. He might even just pick it so someone else can 6th pick.
True.
Because he's been doing just fine with it, but I mean he was also doing just fine with Valkyrie on Clubhouse too. So I mean this is Magnet's been on a roll, but also the rest of the team's absolutely been showing up. We saw Virtue get that nice kill when they tried to go for the run into the plant last time as well. Everyone on Fnatic absolutely showing up, and I got to imagine the communication has also been really good this time, and that is really factoring in. Also denying them playing the Jackal seems to have really kind of stunted it. And like I said, had they actually kept the Dokkaebi, that actually would have worked out potentially in Reciprocity's favor. But I guess they just didn't want to deal with it on their defenses. You know, so far they're looking like they might be going into those defenses in a pretty huge deficit.
But you can see also Rizraz sick of everyone getting naded out. The Jaeger finally takes a spike in play as Magnet heads back to the op that Rizraz was playing, which was the Valkyrie, so they swap around some roles. No more Caveira in play. They've garnered a 4-0 lead off of that Caveira play from Magnet, and the rest of the team showing out, especially Lusty in that individual superstar holdout in behind the bar.
And Laxing's going to try the Ashe again as well. So they're definitely Fox going back to his sledge. They're just trying to lean on some things that might help them because being down 4 right now is not what they were expecting at all. So it's like, let's go ahead and play some roles that we think are going to work a little bit better for us. I mean, it's certainly not working so far, but maybe finally Magnet not playing Caveira for a round will give them one.
Well, Laxing, again, stacking towards the Study balcony, but not with the rest of his team this time, as the objective is on the far side of the map. We will have immediate contestation here from Magnet, though, holding inside of Aviator, waiting for anyone to push through that same door that was a kill box last time around. He's also got Lusty on the leash on the far side behind his trusty bar, so nearly identical setups on either side of the map, regardless of the objective, and Foxy will make the solo entry into Bathroom this time instead of with a pair.
Well, Marks also is droning in front of him, though, so in a way it is a pair, which is working out for him. He's also got his own drone as well, so they're doing a good job trying to coordinate a bit better this time in getting the right intel. Now that they've got some opportunity for pre-fires, though, the question is, can they actually land some of the shots? And I got to wonder if maybe their confidence is off. There's a lot of missed shots coming out from Reciprocity, whereas Fnatic seeming to play off of their confidence because, like it or not, mechanical skill and aim kind of caps out at a point. Everyone has it, but confidence starts to factor into that. Low confidence means missed shots.
Well, here comes the pushing through Study, and Sky's going to grab one, grab two onto Rizraz and Aces, and they both fall in tandem. And that Study completely evacuated from defensive control. Foxy holding the rotations into the Study doors, and you still got Laxing on a flank from behind. This guy's taking some shots from down below as there is bottom pressure. Magnet with a crucial nitro cell onto Mark. Taking a lot of damage again from inside of Study. And Evil Eye has been destroyed now from the sledgehammer, but Retro putting the plant down. Laxing with another 2 kills, and Foxy will clean everything up. It's a sudden storming of the Gulag into Astronomy for Reciprocity, and they draw back 1, and they stop the bleeding momentarily.
Well, we see Magnet lean back on the Caveira now. The one round I don't play it, we lose. I mean, that was a much better execute, though. Like, the push from Skies especially, you saw Fox
There was just
working
energy
first.
behind it, man.
Yeah.
There was force behind that push.
We're taking astronomy.
That's the thing. That's reciprocity in a nutshell, man. That is what they like to do. And we
with the
just haven't seen
psychology
that.
stuff, I think winning that round, I mean, honestly, the first 2 kills from Skies, I just felt it. I felt they have this round because that confidence that I was in the middle of talking about when that happened, they had it then. They were like, okay, we can win this round. We've got 2 kills right off the bat from Skies. We know where they are. We've taken the study. We just put all this pressure on them, and we're going to continue to execute. And now they're going to try dining. I am seeing a potential comeback here from Reciprocity.
Maybe last time around it was an interrogation while
that was
attacking this site for
not so great
for Fnatic. While Reciprocity was attacking.
Magnet's going to lean back on it again, though, and try and go for that second one.
Honestly, though, if Fnatic come away with the 5-1 split at the half, I have a pretty strong feeling that Fnatic take Villa. If we go 4-2, however, we've seen some incredibly close games in the first 2 maps after 4-2 splits.
I mean, again, Reciprocity is the team that will take it to overtime and win it there. I have no doubt in my mind that Reciprocity can potentially do that here on Villa, even if this ends up as 6-1.
They just got to leave themselves some breathing room.
Yeah.
Give themselves a buffer to screw up once or twice, but...
Yeah. Well, they're going to, again, go for relaxing on the Ashe, Fox on the Sledge and everything, just because, well, it worked so well last round. They're going to try and execute on that again. The soft breaching power of both the Ashe and the Zofia, though, will work well against the castle. And I mean, hey, even if they need it, they've got Sledge, so those castle barricades not going to live so long, depending on which utility they want to use to take those out.
The big shock for me last round, though, is that Laxing was self-droning him in, or self-droning himself in as Ashe.
I mean, that's pretty typical.
He took 2 minutes to do it.
Yeah.
He waited, like, he wasn't in the building until the last minute started ticking down.
Not a typical Ashe play. Oh, the timing from Skies, but there was a drone and you saw the red ping. Went for the pre-fire, but too little too late. Again, they're not close enough to these drones. And I feel like that's been a big problem for Reciprocity. We see them droning often, but no one behind the drones. And when Fnatic's playing flexible on their positioning, that's not doing you any good. Yeah, it might clear the room for you in terms of forcing them out, but if you lose the drone to do it, you're not getting a lot out of that. Virtue is able to kind of live through this to an extent. He's just calling out intel for his team. Here's who's coming from this direction. Here's how many. I mean, they almost need to pressure him from above at this point, but you've got to be careful of that C4 when you do so.
Cardiac sensor ticking away here for Virtue as he's again relaying all this information. And you saw it was Magnet utilizing an impact grenade and through the Tarp's room closet, which has that soft wall in towards the east stairwell. Laxing, though, will take down Magnet, and there goes the Cav, not losing a single point of damage as Laxing as he rushes through the main hallway just exterior to the objective. Pops the default, will rush back, understanding that he still has a lot of time at his disposal, and he was walking into the waiting arms of Lusty, playing at the bottom of the basement stairs.
Now he's back to droning himself as well, so, I mean, it's working out. Does lose the drone, but now he knows Lusty is there. Might even force Lusty down in the basement, but no. 2 kills, Virtue and Rizraz taking out Skies and Retro. Now Laxing's going to have a bit more work ahead of him.
It's a tandem of UMPs from Rizraz and Virtue that will collect the kills and push things back in Fnatic's favor as Laxing is looking to push his way out of the bike hallway. Turns the corner and Lusty had vanquished his error, walked away from his angle. It's 2 kills for Reciprocity as they storm the gates, and Lusty coming in on the flank. Laxing is ready for it. The quick peeks. It's going to be Lusty going for a flank around as Mark is stopped in his tracks on the plant. Rizraz with a great shot. Foxate darting back and forth on the other side of the bomb, and in the corner again, it's Lusty coming in. Suddenly a 3v2 down to a 1v2. Laxing the Ashe, last man alive, trying to push in. They're both stacked on one another, but on opposite sides of a reinforcement. Lusty will fall. Health advantage on the side of Rizraz, but clearly the weapon advantage on the side of Laxing. Prone in behind a chair, he just misses him. He hears him moving, shuffling back and forth. He doesn't see him through the chair. 20 seconds, he's pinging it out, throwing flashbangs in and trying to disorient Rizraz. A third one will go in as he needs to recover the diffuser or just push straight for the kill. Rushing straight up, but Rizraz! What a kill! Laying prone, the saving grace. Fnatic will take the first half, 5-1. 2 rounds away from setting themselves to the winner's bracket after dropping map number 1.
That round was absolutely the double ump pump. They just destroyed
was that 4 kills with UMPs in that round?
That was impressive. And I mean, Laxing put up a hell of a fight, But at that point, too little, too late. Those two early kills that came out from Fnatic really set the tone for that round, and they just started losing that momentum quick. It was a great attempt, and honestly, Mark got so close to getting that plant down. I feel like had he got the plant down, that might have gone a bit better because Laxing would have had a bit more flexibility to go for the kills without being under that time pressure or having to recover the diffuser. But unfortunately, that play by Lusty absolutely saving them. But side switch now, but like you said, that 5-1 spells potential defeat for Reciprocity here on this. You never know, though. They might have as good of a run on defense as we just saw from Fnatic, but it is a very tense, I got to imagine, for the team now because they do not want to be down in losers bracket. I mean, in theory, I suppose that gives you an easier match, but that means you've got to fight against Nip, and Nip are a very strong team. Yes, they got to a bite phase, but Nip are so strong, very often on Lamb, and I don't know how prepared Reciprocity are going to be for them. So it's, I don't know, that's a tough spot to be in if they cannot come back here.
The entirety of Group A is filled with powerhouses. Like you said, FaZe, who take the victory 2-0 over NIP, have looked meh so far in the first half of the season in Pro League, yet we know they have had great runs.
I mean, they got all the way to finals at Rio, so they are definitely
They went to the finals in Rio. They were in the semi-finals of the Invitational last year, or quarterfinals? I played against OG.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly.
Either way, they did pretty well.
They do have some pretty good runs at lands when they can make it there.
Yeah, and that's the struggle.
You still got NIP, who also have had hilariously impressive runs while doing poorly in Pro League as well at lands.
Yeah, but then they'll also do really well this season.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know, it's a bit tricky.
And then you got these two teams, and this has been one hell of a match.
Yeah, this is what I expected. This being this, I honestly expected a little bit closer right now. I didn't expect it to be 5-1, but either way, these two teams very evenly matched, it seems, and maybe this is Fnatic's shot to try and make it to outer group stages, and good start for that with Magnet. Early kill on Laxing, who is one of the top fraggers. That's not great here for a potential match point, but Rizraz taking a little bit of damage back for it.
Beautiful droning there from Virtue. He had that lined up the whole time, just being discreet with the drone, Laxing unaware of its presence and his position being relayed in real time. And an easy peek for Magnet to take that win, especially against an MPX, unless Laxing's hitting that headshot against the M762. Good luck.
And I know these Fnatic guys too are very like they're very pumped right now. They are the kind of team that'll be like, yeah, let's go. You know, like I can imagine Magnet just shouting after that last kill.
Well, we talked about isolating one powerful member, and we mentioned it probably should be Laxing. Yeah. Reciprocity isolate. They did the same thing again. They put 3 people on him, 1 on drone, 2 as guns to hold his rotations, and 1.
Well, they were following their drones. The same the thing Reciprocity are not doing. And that is absolutely working out. Magnet did take a bit of damage, but 25 HP is nothing at this point. As long as he manages to get his utility off, even if he dies at this point, like getting 1 kill and your utility off is absolutely essential here for an operator like Zofia.
Well, pushing in through study now. Thermite charge coming out from Aces, and you can see Rizraz below just has a sea of electronics to choose from. Rack up all the points. Flashbangs go soaring in. It looks like an impact trick will stall out the initial breaching attempt there from Aces. Look to go for it again. Right up against the bar, and ooh, there comes Magnet. Can try and send some stun cannons just to stop the impacts, but it connects regardless. The second impact grenade from, I imagine that would be Retro, and Foxay holding on the stairs will eliminate Rizraz from play. The IQ trying to come for a flank. So leveled up on man count now, but 40 seconds left for the push.
Bomb located by attackers.
Well, so far, looks like the 4v4 in theory, works okay for the attackers, but 30 seconds left right now. I think this is where we can finally see another round come back for Reciprocity. Magnet getting stuck by the smoke here and continuing to burn time. Foxay does at least get pushed off.
He's going to go downstairs for the flank through library and coming up those south stairs. He's got 2 attackers waiting for him at the top, but there's not a lot of time left. Virtue is pushing down.
10 seconds to go.
Getting caught on the Legion mines. He tries to come in for the flank from behind. Holding the flank, though, is Retro. In behind the couch now, Sky stands up and will drop Virtue down to a 3v3. Magnet with the knife. The plant is going down into the overtime, but no, the plant gets stopped in the hallway. As it was another flank by the Legion to stall things out. And Reciprocity, again, stop the bleeding, if only for a moment.
It's certainly, definitely, It's still very much, in my opinion, Fnatic's game. But that was a very good defense overall by Reciprocity, at least installing things out, forcing Fnatic to be down to the wire. But even when it was, it really looked strongly like Fnatic could take that. There was so many people left alive on that push. Had they got the plant down, it definitely would have worked out. That was the real struggle, though, is once you have you have man advantage, but if someone's planting, that's one man that essentially is down at that point, and that's really what cost them. Is as soon as that man was going for the plant, got killed during the plant, that left them in a situation where they just had to slug it out at that point because they didn't have enough time left to recover the diffuser, and that's what cost them, was the slow execute. Again, yes, they did a good job with droning and pushing with their drones, and that left them with that manpower advantage, but it was a little too late on that execute. Now it's down to some good play somewhat by Legion. As you mentioned, Fox doing a great job stalling them out and rotating. So we'll see if they can continue to do that, because of course, if not, you know, they might end up in that loser's bracket.
So I had a tweet, I think it was 2 weeks ago.
Uh-oh.
Might have been a week ago. It was the SSG, no, it wasn't the SSG, sorry. It was Reciprocity against, I want to say, Rise in Pro League? Or Orglis. Actually, no, I'm pretty sure it was Orglis.
Attackers have
Mark
their diffuser.
had 0
Attackers
kills.
are moving out to locate a bomb and defuse
He played
it.
Jaeger 1 round on border. He got 5 kills in a round. He was very, very sick of being support. Similar situation here. Mark with 1 kill through 7 rounds. Pulls out the Jaeger. Are we going to see another Mark comeback ace?
Yeah, well, at least at the very least, you know, stopping any kind of throwables would be nice, but in this case, no grenades coming out. They've got 2 soft breachers, Zofia and Ash, but no actual grenades, of course, because IQ lost them to give them over to Finka, which is, of course, not being played at all. It is definitely something that we could actually see Fnatic playing later in this tournament. Definitely something they do play sometimes, and something APAC in general are actually comfortable with, as well as Latin America. Not so much from other regions, but it is possible. Either way, though, in this match, I don't think Jaeger's necessarily going to get a ton of work out of the ADSs so much as you're mentioning his gun and Mark's ability to play on that on defense. But they're not playing any kind of super crazy flank the way that Magnet were. And I don't know, maybe that's something that's going to work against them, because that worked out so well for Magnet.
Well, you still have Mark tucked into this closet right at the top of the stairs outside of the Aviator door, and he's going to rotate back into Aviator now. So it looks like Mark is playing the long Kong from behind as that double castle barricade will get opened up, and there goes Mark striking, removing Magnet from play down to a 5v4. And there goes the Zofia, so more soft destruction gone. It'll be up to Virtue to get rid of these castle barricades. About to turn the corner into the waiting arms of Lusty, but he turns away into the most in-purpose moment. Turning the corner with the pistol now, and Lusty will shred through Mark to level things out, only losing half the HP in the engagement. Still a health advantage on the side of Reciprocity, although still a lot of time left for Fnatic to make this work.
Yeah, that's what it is at this point in his time. They managed to take out Mark, so he's not going to get that ace or anything going on right now, but he did get the 1 kill.
Bomb located by attackers.
It's now Lusty heading out towards the master balcony, as he should actually, yeah, I guess started on breaching open some of these walls in towards master from the balcony into statuary. Looks like Fox is again trying to get a little cheeky here. He's playing inside that master window, waiting to peek for Lusty when he drops down onto the balcony. You see the
army of drones. Yeah, the Mute Jammer not actually even stopping them, but they are going to start to lose those drones. And again, they don't have a gun behind them because Magnet is dead. That's what's going to cost them time, because they're down to 35 seconds and did not follow up any of those drones with bullets.
Well, Fox again falling off to that master hatch. He's going to go downstairs and wait for an astronomy stairs flank. Breaking open the walk-in closet. I mean, there's 20 seconds left. Fnatic need to start going for the push here as 3 stack inside of the double door into statuary, and a shotgun will rip right through Virtue, downing him and finishing him off from Laxing in behind the A-bomb. Flashbangs come in, will not blind Laxing. Turns away from the second one in tandem as well. 8 seconds left, and they have to dive through. The diffuser is lost as he's down on the floor. Laxing will clean it up. Another one pressing through. Rizraz and Flusky with 2. It's down to a 2v2, but no, last man surviving with the diffuser in hand. Can't put it down for Fnatic. And Fnatic, 2 consecutive lost rounds. Reciprocity on a bit of a turnaround here. Well, it's now 5-3. They will call a timeout.
Yeah, they're going to try and stop that momentum. That's the thing. Is the comeback starting to come out? So they're just going to be like, nope, we're going to put a hold on that. We're going to take that timeout, and we're going to try and stop the bleeding, because they are close to being able to close this out. All they've got to win is 2 rounds, but they need to start winning rounds soon, get it to match point, so that they guarantee at least overtime, right? You need to be on that match point so you have that buffer. You say, okay, if they catch up, we go to overtime, no big deal. But Reciprocity, they win in overtime. I mean, the only reason they lost last map, right, is they didn't go to overtime. That's what it is. They're blessed in the overtime, even if they lose the coin flip in a sense. We'll see though how they defend dining. That was a bomb site that actually worked every time, surprisingly, for Fnatic, despite it being not a great bomb site. Either way though, we'll see how they defend it. Honestly though, I gotta say these defensive rounds have been pretty close for Reciprocity. I don't see them coming back because even the rounds that they've won, which has been both of them, just Fnatic have gotten so close to closing them out, and it's down to a lot of gunfights being lost due to them feeling kind of rushed at the end. If they can give themselves enough of a buffer and a little bit of man advantage, along with saving a few drones that dead players can watch, I feel like they can close this out. They have the manpower, they have the aim, they're winning a lot of gunfights. It's just the desperation plays to stick that plant down on the site. You saw that last time. Even with Laxing getting downed, he still was putting enough pressure on them that they were getting hurried and getting pressured back because they were giving the opportunity for Reciprocity players to come back to retake site even when Laxing got downed and just continue to hold off against that desperation. Again, that time management. Yep. It's difficult, and that's why it'll be interesting. So, speaking of interesting, Ace is at least teasing the Finka, something I mentioned that Fnatic will do, but they will 6-pick off of it. Skies as well, though, will go for the 6-pick. What is he going to pick? Mute. All right. So Thatcher will be able to help a little bit with Mute as well. But Dining Kitchen will be interesting to see how this goes here because it will be effective to take out those mute jammers to make sure you can get some intel to kind of push into the dining room area. But it's very close to an open doorway, and I don't know. I feel like the Pulse was a little bit better play coming out last time on the defense from Fnatic because they were able to call out where those pushes were coming from a lot more effectively, whereas we're not going to see that. And they're going to be a bit more dependent on the Castle and the Evil Eyes to slow things down.
It looks like Reciprocity mirroring some of what Fnatic were bringing on this specific objective defense last time around. They're going to be investing heavily in top control up towards Master and Statuary and Trophy.
Yeah.
You've got the castle barricades coming out from Mark. You've got multiple reinforcements. Laxing taking a little bit of team damage in prep as well. So I guess it's been a constant theme for both sides, really. Ooh, good spot on the drone there from Magnet instead of the clock.
Well, he's going to have to tear down one of those castle barricades. Yeah. Set it back up, or...
It seems like either there was an improper setup, they called the wrong...
It was probably just a late rotate they were not as prepared for yet.
Yeah.
I mean, Jaeger has a lot of setup you have to do. So. Absolutely. Because I gotta imagine he was carrying barb.
Yeah.
I don't know, that really multiplies the amount of things you have to do. 2 reinforcements, your barbed wire, your ADSs. It's a hard knock life.
Well, Magnet will make his entry in through the basement, mirroring a little bit of what we saw at USN from Canadian.
Yeah.
Having fun and
that was always
way
interesting.
Through the basement every single time.
Worked sometimes, didn't work other times. That mute jammer actually did a good job of denying his ability to spot upstairs. Now he's
oh my!
The question is, did he hear him?
That timing.
Oh, that. Yeah, nicely
with
done.
With a lifeline, but Retro will clean up the kill onto Magnet, and that. It's very unfortunate. Virtue has made his way all the way into Tarbs and gets shredded from behind and finished off by Mark. Now as Lusty is also breaching his way in. Oh my god, it's all down to Lusty in a 1v5. Everyone on Fnatic just tried to storm the objective and got shredded for it.
Pretty sure that was the shortest round we've had so far.
It was the easiest round of Reciprocity's lives.
Yeah. I mean, after Retro got that kill, it just seemed like everyone was like, all right, forget it. Let's just go in. Reciprocity looking a little more comfortable now that they're coming ahead on their defenses. So we're again seeing this continued mirror of, well, we saw a near perfect, well, we did see a perfect mirror up till overtime on the first map on Consulate where it was 4-4 of attack. Saw pretty good mirroring on Clubhouse, but eventually going out in favor of Fnatic, but looking like we could see the mirror again. If it comes back to 5-5, then it's whoever can continue that momentum. Now Fnatic have already called their timeout, so they cannot continue to try and stop the momentum. And I don't imagine Reciprocity are going to call a timeout unless they really need it, if they haven't already. I don't recall if they've called their timeout on this map yet.
I think they did. When they went down 4-0, I believe it was Rack that called the timeout.
That makes sense, yeah. So many maps.
I'm also just really confused about that round as a whole from Fnatic.
I mean, to be fair, like, it started to work with Virtue. He thought he was going to get in there and rush it, but it just, I got shut down fast after that.
But C4 you have Aces flexing the Finka in prep.
Yeah.
And then they 6-pick off the Finka.
I mean, that does telegraph a rush already that they didn't even, like,
yeah.
Finka for. It is a little mysterious why you would do that.
Yeah, I feel like if you're going to telegraph the Finka and then 6-pick off it, don't then still rush, because you don't have the operator that would help you the most in a rush situation.
Lesson learned for Fnatic as they see their lead slowly creeping away.
It's been small mistakes back and forth. Again, time management on the attacking side for Fnatic, not quite up to par, but we also saw that from Reciprocity on Villa. It's just been a story of these teams not having enough time to site execute on all 3 maps.
Yeah, Magnet has been definitely a bit hit and miss with the Sophia as well. Like, he's definitely had some good rounds, but he's also seeming to struggle a little bit in terms of he's not getting the advantage he's hoping for. You saw last time with just that bad timing on the lifeline. I mean, it was a nice idea, but I like that they follow their drones, but they're seeming to not have enough intel before when they execute, just because they're getting caught in flanks and crossfires on some of those drone plays. They're just, I mean, they're not able to actually get like enough pre-fires or anything to really justify a lot of their plays right now.
Just doing some mental math on the amount of rounds we've done.
Jeez.
35.
Well, it sounds about right.
36th round of this best of 3.
I don't know if it's stopping anytime soon. I mean, at least it didn't go to overtime on Clubhouse as well.
Yeah. 8-6 on Consulate in the favor of Reciprocity, 7-5 in the favor of Fnatic on Clubhouse, and it's currently 5-4 Fnatic on Villa heading into the 10th round on Villa. Breaches going to be coming out now for Aces right up against the bar wall. Will it be impact tricked? It will. Second time's the charm for Retros. He'll be able to shut that down, and the bar wall will remain safe. But he's out of impacts now, and a second exothermic charge will be placed upon the wall.
Fox is coming in. He's calling in the second shift with the impacts. Ooh.
Good Valkyrie camera there from Laxing to spot out the pressure on the stairs from the backside, and that's Lusty as the Hibana. Ace is taking a lot of damage upstairs as well, trying to facilitate this breach in through from Study.
I mean, at least he burned up the 2 impacts, but he also only has 1 thing left. However, Hibana still has an X-Cairo as well, so they have some utility to make it work, but this is burning up at 2 minutes already trying to make it happen. So even if they get it open, it's going to be, again, another desperate attack play.
A bomb has been
Mark
located.
playing at 90s, watching the camera, waiting to pick the perfect moment to peek in towards Rizraz. Made his way in, but is unaware of this. He's playing up against the pool table doorway. Got double stacked on the 90 window for Fnatic as the attackers, and there's 30 seconds left, and it's a 5v5.
Oh,
4v5
nice.
as I say that now, as Virtue will take down Laxing.
Attackers have located a bomb.
I mean, that really cost them right there. I thought Laxing was going to make that rotate really work, jumping down like there. But now having the man advantage, as long as they don't get desperate again, but 15 seconds, no smokes available, this is going to be desperate.
All trying to send in through the doorways into the objective. Magnet gets 1, but a double poke back now from Reciprocity. Trades again, leaving it at a 2v1. It's Virtue alone, and he wins it out inside of the vault. Trades back and forth from a 4v4 to a 1v1 in a heartbeat, but Virtue remaining composed and rushing through the vault will give Fnatic match point, series point, heading into round number 11 on Villa.
This is definitely a great position for them to be in because now they have that guaranteed overtime at the least. They have, I mean, had a lot of good rounds. Like I said, those rounds that they lost on attack were very close for them. They still managed to make it. That play, though, by Virtue, that was absolutely the first to kill on Laxing. Then the way he rotated up to be able to help his team, dodging the shotgun blast and getting the kill, just pushing on into gun vault after the pressure on that. There was just, I don't know, defense at that point needed to get the right timing. I mean, they needed to be pre-firing at that point and able to catch Virtue because those Ash rushes are brutal like that, especially if he's feeling on fire like that. There's the Capitao coming out from Magnet, finally changing to a different operator as it's just not been working so well for the most part on Sophia, but at least they did win that round. You see fairly similar kills from most of the teams. Ace is the only one actually a little bit low, and honestly, he's a great player, so it wouldn't surprise me to see him bring back some more kills and kind of even things up.
Well, we'll round 37 of this best of 3. It's 37 out of a maximum 45 rounds.
And if you can't hear, my voice is already shot, so this is going to be an interesting week. I'm just going to be typing up by the time we hit playoffs. just gonna tweet out what's happening.
I don't know what it is, man, but you, me, and the Reciprocity roster, we just love going deep on games for some reason at LAN tournaments.
It's been interesting. So we'll see though how deep they get, because being on that match map series point is not a great position to be in pressure-wise, especially for a team that is really going to be expecting to be doing much better on this map in particular. It's well done on Fnatic to save this map in terms of banning it all season, but now the cat's out of the bag for future maps or future matches, regardless of whether that be in the losers bracket or the winners bracket.
Virtue appears to be angling in for an entry down below. It's an Aviator and Games hold once again coming out for Reciprocity, looking to repeat a little what they had last round as it came down to a 1v1. It was a 4v4 with 13 seconds left until all the kills came flying. Rushing straight in is Magnet. He spots the Evil Eye, but he's going to drop a Claymore right at the door and wait for the Evil Eye to try and zap it. You have to break someone to take rid of this. And that's going to be Virtue down below, usually going to use that Ash charge to send up to the Ash. And
there we go. Now we can stop watching it.
There goes the Evil Eye, and now they can start breaching out the wall from Study. And they've only expended a minute so far, and you're still waiting for that Laxing flank. You got Foxay and Laxing primed to go right now, both above the stairwell.
Again, it's going to be that timing. If they can time it right, they do have at least the Valkyrie cameras, but they don't have a ton of other intel because now they've lost at least one of the Evil Eyes. There is smoke coming out from the Capital, but that's where they use the Evil Eyes to get through it. Here's the impact tricks coming out. If he succeeds in that, which he has not done, there we go. That is going to really hurt this defense. I mean, yeah, you can defend behind that bar well, but that is not the right position to be in right there, and he's going to rotate. This is not looking good for Reciprocity.
That's enormous for Fnatic to be able to open up that wall into the bar. Just the missed impact trick there from Retro, and he'll have to dart away and evacuating the position, the strongest position in that room behind that bar. You can see Foxay quick peeking towards the Study balcony, but Rizraz holding his position, holding firm, and it looks like we're going down to another war in the last 30 seconds. With a minute remaining, spotting out some holes in the floor and some feet through them, but Skies will actually pick up the first kill onto Magnet, and there goes the Capital. He's still playing up against the bar, but he's in the myriad of a crossfire from the hallway door and the breach hole in behind the bar. Fnatic really need to start storming and overpowering Skies and Mark inside of Games Room.
That Capital pick, though, was probably the most important pick they could have got, because now they can't go for any kind of smoke plant. And anytime you don't have the ability to do a smoke plant, you now have someone who's going to be in a very exposed position, and that means everyone has to cover him as well as possible, especially if you don't have time for a second attempt at the plant.
No more breaching rounds remaining for Virtues. He's down below. The last Toxic Babe will expend, and Mark will be downed in behind the pool table as Virtue pushes the corner. He's got two defenders who can creep up on him on 90, but Flashbang's come out with 15 seconds. Here comes the hailstorm of bodies flying. In behind the bar still, Virtue turns away momentarily as he needs to be the initial ingress, but Rizraz will shut down Skies as well. Mark is still down. Aces is getting the diffuser down. Great flicks here from Virtue back and forth, just lighting up the backside as Retro tries to press through. The shotgun will list, and it's a team kill, but Retro will stop Lusty from planning. That was just a mess for Reciprocity, and again, the 15-second 5v5, 4v4 pushes will send us to the last possible round of regulation.
Yeah, that loss of the Capital, I mean, that was the only kill they even had against them, but that was the most important one that really made that a desperate play. They had pretty good coverage, though. That was a good attempt at making the plan happen, and yeah, despite a team kill, I mean, that shows the desperation as well from the defense, because they're up against the wall. If they lost that round, they're out, down to losers bracket. So all they needed to do was just really stop the plant from going down because time was so low. And in doing so, getting a team kill just shows both teams are getting really nervous at this point to try and close things out or to catch things up, because now it's one round away from Reciprocity possibly taking this to overtime, where they tend to win. But the Blackbeard now coming out from Aces on that 6th pick is going to make things interesting. So Blackbeard and a Capital can really put a lot of pressure on team, combined with Virtue still playing that Ash. I expect some aggression combined with angle holding here that it's going to down. I mean, we might even see a Reciprocity having to do some jump outs to win this.
So, just an update for everyone out there who's curious. Is Space Station took the first map against Rogue on Villa.
Wow.
That was a 7-4 scoreline.
So that Villa going unexpected as well.
We're still on game number 1 over here on the B stream on Bravo.
Yeah.
And they're halfway done game number 2. This has been a 3.5-hour game.
Yeah. I had a feeling we were going to be on the stream that was going to be mostly 2-1s.
Yeah.
They were going to be on the stream that was mostly 2-0s. So, to be fair, though, I do expect Rogue to come back probably on the second map. But either way, that's another game, another time, another universe. This one still...
It could be done right here in the next 2 minutes and 45
I don't even
seconds.
know at this point. This is definitely a team that will... I mean, they got here to this event off of overtimes. So...
Will Rec be able to push it the distance? This has been a long, long game. And we're still going. Magnet will push in again as the initial ingress in towards Study, and the drones come out abound everywhere for Fnatic. The defense is over towards Statuary, and oh, the feet of Mark again will be spotted out by Rizraz. And this time around, I don't think Fnatic will allow him to go for his nice little stall tactic, wait at the top of the stairs, and then duck back into Aviator for the flank. I imagine they'll be expecting him to attempt it later on and catch him off in the cross.
Yeah, we'll see if they're able to pull it off. We'll see if Magnet's able to live a little bit longer this time, get some more use out of his cap tower. We did see him use his smoke pretty early before he died last round. Might have been a little bit premature, might have been just to get some positioning for his team. But it is risky to use one smoke early because 2 smokes is a much more effective cover for a plant, especially if that covers 2 cross angles, then that prevents good pre-firing of the spot itself. But an early kill there from Rizraz, who's actually already at the top of the scoreboard for his team, taking it now to 11 kills. Doing quite well as the Thatcher, something that Laxing also excels at. So it's always nice to see frag-heavy Thatchers.
Beautiful start for Fnatic to try and close this thing out once again. And Virtue waiting this time to open up that double door, as last time they opened it up, it turned into a flurry of bullets coming at them from Reciprocity with the last time they defended this objective. So playing the patient game, waiting it out, and also a sea of Legion mines awaiting the entry of Fnatic as they all try to press into the top of these east red stairs. And Foxay is laying in wait with many a soup can.
Yeah, we heard Magnet step on one as well, took a little bit of damage. That's going to give away the presence, but there's a nice trade as Skies gets Magnet, but Virtue trades it right back. Fire not actually getting the kill on Fox.
Stuck in the corner and behind the statue trophy. Now Retro double peeking onto Foxay's door, and he's moved straight up against the door frame with a hole right underneath. No one playing the verticality angle from Fnatic though, but Rizraz has it pinched off from inside of Master. A double push in, and here comes the crouch walking Virtue around the corner. Foxay will fall. It's a 4v2. A beautiful spot to be in for Fnatic, looking to close things out on Villa. Oh, Retro just missing the shots as they try to push into the Master doorway too, and it's Laxing and Retro stacked on one another. They both fall. Rizraz and Lusty close it out, and Fnatic, the APAC representative in Group A, will take the game 2-1. Another 7-5 win, this time on Villa. Fnatic will move on to the winners match, and Reciprocity, after taking the first map on Consulate 8-6, will lose Clubhouse and Villa consecutively by an extremely narrow